Let's check in with Mark Fine. Mark?
All right, thanks, Don. You guys talked about the fact that the Red Sox have had some success when facing elimination. With that in mind, I asked Terry Francona if he'd do anything different today, if he'd give a speech or maybe pull guys aside one-on-one, talk to them about the situation. He said, no, they really try to just stay in the moment, stay consistent. He doesn't think baseball is a sport where you can push a button or give a rah-rah speech. So the important things for them, stay in the moment, stay consistent. They do that. He thinks they can have some success. Guys?
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And Buck Martinez, you take a look at this Red Sox team, under 500 on the road during the regular season, but they play so well here at Fenway Park, and they're hoping that they can get it going here.
Yeah, they're especially built for this ballpark. There's a lot of nuances here. It can be an intimidating crowd for a visiting ball club because there's so much excitement here. The Angels have not fared well in their postseason appearances, just 2-7 in this ballpark against the Red Sox, so they've got to turn that around if they hope to wrap up this series today. The interesting thing Mark mentioned, Terry Francona talking about not wanting to give a speech. Baseball is obviously a 6-month sport, and then you go into the postseason. So it doesn't lend itself to really trying to hype up your team. And Francona and I both know as former managers, when you have a starting pitcher on the mound that you're pretty confident of, that's when you have a speech. A guy like Roy Halladay or Chris Carpenter, you make sure your timing is good. But these players know what it's all about. Terry Francona says our players play the game every day the same way. So there's no reason to draw attention to the importance of this game.
And on the other side for the Angels, they are tied for the best road record in the majors with the Philadelphia Phillies at 48-33 during the regular season. So the road is not a problem for them.
Now, it sure isn't, especially when you have good pitching, and that's what we've seen so far from the Angels. You just can't overstate the value of Lackey and Weaver so far. They have really neutralized a very potent Red Sox lineup, and the enthusiasm that Terry Hunter brings to this team is infectious.
Well, the Red Sox take the field led by Clay Buchholz for this game 3. As they do, let's check out the Angels starting 9. Sean Figgins leading it off at third base with Bobby Abreu in right field. Torrey Hunter in center field, had a big 3-run home run in game 1. Vladimir Guerrero, the DH. Kendry Morales is at first base. Juan Rivera in left field. Meister's Turris starts in back-to-back games. He's at second base, as does Mike Napoli, who does the catching, batting 8th, and Eric Ibar at shortstop bats 9th. Same lineup for the Angels as they had in game 2 of the series. On the mound today for the Red Sox, Clay Buchholz, a guy who has a no-hitter under his belt in his career, but with the Red Sox this season coming up just after the All-Star break.
And Don, as you mentioned, he started out in AAA, made 16 starts for the Red Sox, and had a very good September, going 4-1. The one thing they're going to keep an eye on today is his emotional level, to make sure he doesn't try to improvise on the mound. Keep control. Just follow Victor Martinez behind the plate. Don't try to do too much. Don't think about the theory of pitching to this Angels team. Think about the execution of individual pitches. The scouting report, Victor Martinez is well aware what he has to deal with behind the plate. Total package of pitches. He's added a 2-seam fastball that's given him a lot of confidence. He can throw his changeup anytime. It is that good. And the sinker ball, now he doesn't feel if he gets into a hitter count where he falls behind, he can get movement on his fastball. Bobby Abreu and Vladimir Guerrero, I'm sure, talking about Buchholz. The Angels have not seen him since July of 2008. So they're going to be anxious to take a lot of pitches and get a first-hand look at him here this afternoon. Defensively, the Red Sox committed 3 errors in the first game. It's been tight defense since. Bay, Ellsbury, and Drew in the outfield. Same lineup. Gold glove caliber infield all around. Mike Lowell has been terrific so far in this series. Double play combination, Gonzalez and Pedroia. Euclid at first, and Victor Martinez continues to do all the work behind the plate in this division series.
It is a beautiful day here from Fenway Park for the first game from this venue of the series. The Angels choosing to fly out during the off day yesterday, while the Red Sox took off immediately following game 2. Talking to Mike Scioscia before the game, he was saying that during the regular season all year long, their tactic from the West Coast was to travel on off days, and certainly they travel pretty tough out there on the West Coast, and it's something that he's done to help out the Angels. It's worked well, and they're not going to change it up here in the postseason.
Now, gave the players an extra night at home, and they worked out before they jumped on the plane yesterday and got here about 7:30 last night.
So here we go in game 3 as Sean Figgins stands in. In on the grass at third base is Mike Lowell, as he has been anytime Figgins has been in there. And the first pitch of this one misses for ball one, and we're underway.
Pop-ups could be interesting here this morning. Well, actually noontime, an early start, about an hour ahead of a normal day game, and that sun is right straight up over this ballpark.
Shadows will be a factor today, no doubt, as you point out. And here at Fenway Park, the sun field is right field as the day goes on. Figgins slaps it foul off to the left, and is down 1-2. Anytime he gets on, certainly a stolen base threat, 42 during the regular season. He was caught a career high 17 times this year. Regardless, has the permanent green light from Mike Scioscia. .214 average in the postseason against the Red Sox. There's a late defensive swing, fouls it off over by the Angels dugout.
Yeah, pretty good giddy up on the fastball so far for Buchholz. And you mentioned Sean Figgins getting on base. What a threat he is. We haven't seen it in the division series yet. He's not reached first base. Buchholz wants the new ball before he continues this at bat. I spoke to Bobby Abreu and Torrey Hunter both about what they're looking for from Buchholz, because they haven't seen him so long. But you can see how intently Torrey Hunter is watching from the dugout. Mike Napoli right behind him, Vladdy Guerrero, everybody keeping their eye on Buchholz. They haven't seen him since July a year ago.
The 1-2 to Sean Figgins is outside for ball two, 2-2.
Don, you can look at all the video you want and have an idea what Buchholz has done lately, but until you get in the batter's box, you don't have a real sense for velocity nor the spin on his breaking ball. So that's what all the Angels are looking for right now.
Figgins hits a fly ball to left field. Jason Bay ducks back a step or two and makes the catch for out number one.
You can see on that routine fly ball, Bay looked straight up into the sun, and he's had his glasses down. And this is a little unusual. These players are going to have to get used to the early start, but you can see the sun reflecting off those sunglasses, so they're going to have to really pay close attention when anything's up in the air here.
See the shadows that are already being cast by the light tower off to the right. One down here in the first inning. Bobby Abreu, patient as usual in this series. He has faced 39 pitches and 8 plate appearances in the series. 16% of his team's pitches that have been faced in 2 games. He has been remarkably patient, as he always is.
Well, and he's the guy. He sets the table. He's been on base 6 of the 8 plate appearances he's had here in this series so far, and that's his job. Get on base.
Taken again, and it's 2-0. Outfield set up straight away on Bobby Abreu as Clay Buchholz has to have some nerves running through him. As we mentioned, started the season at AAA Pawtucket, came up for his first start on July 17th, just after the All-Star break, and at times a bit frustrated at AAA this year because he was dominating the AAA. It's 7-2 at one point, and the Red Sox had some other ideas when they began the year in spring training. They were about 8 deep as far as starting pitchers went. They added John Smoltz, Brad Penny, of course, neither here, and that made way for Clay Buchholz to join the team in July finally. And he has been 7-4 since during the regular season. This is back up the middle and into center field for Bobby Abreu. And the Angels have a base runner with 1 down in the first inning.
Well, Buchholz making his first postseason appearance is pretty much in control. He has not shown any signs of emotions or any extra adrenaline pumping. Slaps his leg because he thought he had a shot at that line drive. I don't know. I think it was past him before he got his glove up.
So 1 down here in the first inning. Bobby Abreu at first base and Torrey Hunter coming up. Hunter finishing the regular season just under 300 at 299. 22 home runs, 90 runs batted in, 1 for 6 so far in the ALDS, and the one part was a big one, a 3-run shot in game 1 of the series. Strike to Hunter. 95 on the fastball from Buchholz.
We'd mentioned that Hunter wanted an idea. He said he was going to take a pitch. Remember, in the first at bat in game one, he swung from his heels and a John Lester high fastball. But he said, today I'm going to look at that first one just to see how much fastball Buchholz has. Abreu inching off. Buchholz has not caught a base runner this year. Runners are 6 for 6.
This one gets away from Youkilis towards the Red Sox dugout. Abreu takes off for second. The throw is going to get by Pedroia. And taking second base is Abreu.
Well, interesting. That ball didn't go far behind Youkilis. Abreu always draws the attention of the pitcher, and watch the ball just trickle off the glove into foul territory. Alfredo Griffin said, don't run, don't run. He didn't think it was far enough. Look at him saying, stop, stop, stop. And Abreu felt like he had enough time to get to second base. Might have been out had it been a good throw from Youkilis. Abreu sees where the ball is, and Abreu sees Griffin. Griffin said, don't run, don't run. But Abreu felt like he had enough time and wisely moves up.
They charge the error to Buchholz on the throw. So it's Abreu in scoring position with one down. So Torrey Hunter with a count of 0-1. And a pitch high to Hunter makes it 1-1. They have changed the error now and given it to Kevin Youkilis at first base.
Well, isn't that interesting? Now we have 3 Gold Glovers on the infield. The Red Sox have committed 4 errors in this series. Lowell's committed 1, Gonzalez has committed 1, and now Youkilis has made 1.
Fouled off to the right by Hunter. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
So oftentimes we discount the value of a stolen base threat, but right here in the first inning, just the distraction of having Bobby Abreu on first base forced the Red Sox into an error and give Torrey Hunter a chance to drive in a run.
Hunter sends it to center field. Ellsbury coming in to make the running catch for out number 2. And back to second goes Abreu, 2 down. MLB postseason and Espanol. Live MLB postseason Spanish language feed available via SAP. So 2 down, Bobby Abreu at second base, and a chance here for Vladimir Guerrero. Working out of the cleanup spot, the DH. 295 regular season, 15 homers, 50 runs batted in. Injury marred season for Vladimir Guerrero. He takes strike 1. 96 on the fastball that time from Buchholz.
And he's achieving that velocity with minimal effort, not really trying to overthrow the ball. The ball's coming out of his hand very easily. That's a good sign for the Red Sox. Appears to have his emotions well under control.
Wild swing and a miss for Guerrero, which he will do, and he's down 0-2.
A lot of movement on this fastball. Watch how it's down and in, late tail, and really had Guerrero overmatched. Now Buchholz has to make sure he doesn't throw anything close to Guerrero. He's going to be swinging, and oftentimes he'll chase balls in the dirt.
Doesn't chase that one. It's outside at 97. A little extra there from Buchholz away. And it's 1-2. Think of
that's the added effort you don't want to see from Buchholz. Muscling up, he could leave a ball out over the plate and create problems for himself.
Abreu with a big lead off second base with 2 down in the inning. Buchholz noticed and spinned off the backside as Abreu darts back. You think of Guerrero and all the RBIs he's had in his career, 9 100 RBI seasons. But he's had just 1 RBI in his last 19 postseason games. And none in his last 13 postseason games. The Angels are hoping he can cash in right here in the first. Guerrero on a broken bat grounder foul. Most of the bat ending up in the infield. We'll have to get a new one with a count of 1-2.
This ball might have hit him if he hadn't fouled it off. Look where he hits that ball. That's got to be 1.5 feet off the plate inside, but he can still get the bat on the ball. That's that two-seam fastball. It's been such an important addition to the pitches of Clay Buchholz. And look where this ball is down and in. It's hard to fathom how he can get the bat on the ball, but he does. Not a whole lot of discipline. He's free swinging.
Free swinging and fouling it off to the right.
This was earlier in the season to give you an idea about the plate coverage. That ball bounced and he hit it. It was a breaking ball that bounced about a foot in front of the plate, and he got a base hit on it. Head to toe, that's his happy zone.
Going back outside again, and it's 2-2 as Guerrero takes.
Well, as often as he swings and as tough as he is to walk, it was his walk in the 7th in game 2. It proved to be the pivotal at bat as he was lifted for the pinch runner, Howie Kendrick, who would eventually come around and score the go-ahead run.
20 pitches already for Clay Buchholz here in the first. Guerrero hits a one-hopper at second baseman. Dustin Pedroia fires to first. Buchholz out of the jam in the first. Red Sox coming up in game 3. Jacoby Ellsbury at the top of the lineup in center field with Dustin Pedroia at second base. Victor Martinez doing the catching, batting third. Kevin Youkilis the cleanup hitter. Jason Bay in left field, a flip-flop for the Red Sox as David Ortiz now hits out of the 6th spot. Mike Lowell is at third base, batting 7th. J.D. Drew in right field. And batting 9th for shortstop Alex Gonzalez. And for Scott Kazmir, the starter today for the Angels, it may be a new uniform this season, but he's reunited with a former pitching coach he had in Tampa Bay, and Mike Butcher.
Yeah, Mike Butcher and he were together in Tampa Bay, and Butcher did a little bit of tinkering with his delivery. 26 starts this year with the Rays and the Angels. 6 starts with LA. He was very good, going 5-1. And the one thing about Kazmir is he's got a little better velocity now. He was starting to pitch better prior to the trade. Fastball, slider, changeup. He's familiar with the Red Sox and Fenway. He's pitched here a lot, but he is tough to get a jump on if you're trying to steal against him. Unloads quickly to the plate, and he's got that big fastball.
You know, Jacoby Ellsbury, who tripled in this series on Friday, snapped an 0-for-24 drought in the postseason. A .266 hitter in the postseason. Sends a fly ball to left field. Juan Rivera is back there, and he makes the catch for the first out here in the bottom of the first inning.
Take a look at the defense behind Juan Rivera in the outfield. It's Rivera, Hunter, and Bobby Abreu from left to right. Sean Figgins and Eric Ibar on the left side. Meiser Restores and Kenry Morales on the right side, and Mike Napoli catching as he did in game 2.
One down for Dustin Pedroia. In there for strike 1 to Pedroia. Now Kazmir finishing the year strong for the Angels, 2-2 with a 1.73 earned run average since joining the Angels on August the 28th. Overall, a 10-9 mark between his work in Tampa Bay and in Anaheim with the Angels.
Well, you saw the numbers for Dustin Pedroia against Scott Kazmir. He absolutely wears him out. Higher batting average than anybody. And Kazmir's aware of that, and that's why he threw him that changeup. Dustin Pedroia loves anything hard. The harder, the better for him. Fastballs, hard breaking balls, he's all over it. He's hit 3 doubles, a triple, and a home run against Kazmir.
It has been a quiet series for Dustin Pedroia, just 1 for 8 in the series. 0 for 4 in game 2. Chops this to third, and Figgins in on the infield grass, throws out Pedroia for out number 2 of the first. So 2 up, 2 down for Kazmir, and it brings up Victor Martinez. A beautiful day here at Fenway Park. Red Sox and Angels moving this series to this venue. And the Red Sox with their backs to the wall once again, and you highlighted off the top, the Red Sox have been there before, and they're pretty confident today.
Yeah, they sure are. They were down in the ALDS in '99 to Cleveland, came back and won. Same in 2003 against Oakland, came back and won. And then, of course, the most dramatic, the down 3-0 to the Yankees in the 2004 ALCS and won 4 straight to go to the World Series.
Martinez takes it away. It's a ball and a strike to Victor Martinez with 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Kazmir missed significant time, May 21st through June 26th, better than a month, with a strained quad that required a trip to the DL. Also removed from a game in July with some forearm cramping, but did not miss any starts that time around. His 2-1 is away again, and he falls behind 3-1.
They're trying to get locked in on that outside corner to the switch hitter Martinez batting from the right side. You see, too, Jason Bay on deck keeping a close eye on Kazmir just to get a sense of what he's featuring here this afternoon.
Martinez lifts a fly ball to short right field. Abreu makes his way in and under to put it away. It's a 1-2-3 first inning for Scott Kazmir. We're done with 1 in game 3. No score. It's Kendry Morales, Juan Rivera, and Meiser's Turris coming up to face Clay Buchholz, who, interestingly enough, in his major league debut, earned his first major league win against the Angels August 17th of 2007 in a 6-inning effort, giving up 3 earned runs in that outing. And then his next start was against the Orioles, and that's when he pitched his no-hitter. Kendry Morales leading it off. A 306 regular season average, 34 homers, 108 runs batted in.
And Don, you mentioned how Clay Buchholz started out in AAA and was throwing the ball very well and got frustrated at times, but it's difficult for young pitchers like Buchholz to understand the big picture. And the Red Sox have high expectations for him. They believe he can be a 200-inning pitcher and a real workhorse in the middle of their rotation. So, you know, as a 25-year-old, you don't understand the game plan, and you just don't have the overall understanding of a pitching coach, John Farrell, or the manager, Terry Francona.
We'll talk to John Farrell a little bit later in this game, but you think about the maturity that Clay Buchholz has gone through, and you think of his development. In some ways, his no-hitter appeared to work against his development.
Yeah, it's really interesting how that involves young pitchers. Roy Halladay went through the same thing, took a no-hitter into the bottom of the 9th inning in his first start in the big leagues, and everybody thought, well, this guy's just going to be terrific, and he had to go back and regroup and eventually ended up in the minors.
Pedroia at second base takes care of Morales for the first out here of the 2nd inning. And the ground ball out for Clay Buchholz. Second major league start. Struck out Nick Markakis for the final out of his no-hitter against the Orioles. One down here in the 2nd inning, and it brings up Juan Rivera. Rivera 1 for 7 so far in the series. Back into the first pitch and driving it back up the middle into center field. The second hit of the afternoon for the Angels. A 1-out single for Juan Rivera.
Well, not wasting any time. It gives you perspective from a hitter's point of view, and he hits it right back over the rubber. Buchholz has to duck out of the way of that hot shot. A 1-out base hit for Rivera.
So Buchholz back to the stretch again with 1 out of the inning. Rivera at first, and second straight start for Meiser's Turris. Kendrick got the start in the first game of the series, but back-to-back for his Turris.
Yeah, his Turris got the big hit in the 7th inning of game 2 when he drove in a run, a go-ahead run with 2 outs in the 7th inning. And a base hit to center. That drove in Howie Kendrick, who come on into the game as a pinch runner.
Strong season for his Turris offensively, setting career highs this year with a 300 average. Most home runs he's had, most RBIs, and played 114 games while playing good defense. There's 4 errors this year. Takes the strike over the inside corner. 94 from Buchholz. Turris with a swing and a miss.
That's the kind of breaking ball you want if you're a right-handed pitcher. That breaking ball down and into lefties. It's out over the plate, and watch how it disappears. Right down inside. That's that hard slider he'll throw, and that's about as good as you can throw it to a left-hander. Right in on his fist, and goes underneath the bat.
Turris, a switch hitter who's hit at 380 from the right side, 288 from the left side. And from the left side here with the right-hander going off is Rivera on the pitch. The throw is not going to be in time. A stolen base, a strikeout at the plate as his Turris is gone. But Rivera is able to take second base with 2 down in the inning.
Rivera didn't have a steal during the regular season. It just goes by the element of surprise. Another tough pitch down and in. Difficult for Martinez to really hang in and make a good throw. His Turris goes after it. He's out, but you can see the throw is up and away from second base. He's got to wait for it And that ball just tails far away from second base, and it's a stolen base for Rivera.
The Angels finally get their running game going, something they were hoping to do against the Red Sox in the series in Game 2. And that stolen base for Rivera, the third now of the series. The two big ones in Game 2. There's Mike Napoli getting his second straight start after Jeff Mathis started Game 1. Mike Sosa certainly enjoying the offensive aspect of Mike Napoli's game, but his defensive aspect is getting better as well as time goes on.
Don, he did a great job in Game 2 calling pitches for Jared Weaver. Really did a good job of keeping the Red Sox hitters off stride and utilizing it. Very good fastball.
Second consecutive season he's had at least 20 home runs. Led in a career high 114 games during the regular season. Actually had a much higher average on the road than he did at home. 308 away from Angels Stadium. And 230 at home. Part of the Angels' success on the road. And Buchholz gets the fastball in there at 95 for a strike. Juan Rivera at second base with two down here in the second inning. Angels have had a runner in scoring position in each of the first two innings, trying to cash in this time. Another strike, and it's 2-2.
Again, another breaking ball. Mike Sosa, let me tell you, being in that dugout on the third base line, you are about as far away from home plate as you can get. It's a high breaking ball. Looked like it might have been up, but it's called a strike by Eric Cooper. Tell you what, as a hitter, that's the one you want to swing at, especially here at Fenway Park. That hanging breaking ball, it can end up in the monster seats in the flash of an eye.
Napoli takes ball 3, and it's a full count.
Napoli had 2 home runs in Game 3 here at Fenway Park last year. The only game the Angels won, and those home runs both came against Josh Beckett.
During the regular season in 6 games against the Red Sox, he had 3 home runs. Tied for the most versus any opponent. He also had 3 against Toronto. And 20 home runs during the regular season. Rivera at second base, 2 down. And a bluff off the backside that has Rivera darting back to the bag. Napoli swings and gets a piece, fouling it off at the dish.
Well, you mentioned 2 home runs last year in the division series. That's a hanging breaking ball from Josh Beckett, and no doubt about it is Napoli tossed the bat aside. And then he got another hanging breaking ball, and that's the same pitch he took for a strike here in this at bat against Clay Buchholz.
3-2 to Mike Napoli with 2 down. Juan Rivera at second base. In tight, and Napoli gets hit on the hand. He will take first base.
And Victor Martinez has hit bat. That's why Martinez pointed it out immediately. And the ball passed the batter. He pointed to Eric Cooper and said that ball hit his bat. Napoli said no, it hit my forearm. And Cooper thought it hit Napoli instead of any part of the bat. Take a look at this pitch inside. Looked like it hit the knob of the bat. That's what Victor was talking about. Look how quickly Martinez reacted and say, hey, that hit his bat. Napoli tried to sell it to Eric Cooper, and he did.
His salesmanship was good enough.
When that hit right off the knob of the bat, but Napoli was quick enough to show Cooper his hand. But immediately Victor Martinez asked that Cooper call it a foul ball. He felt like he hit the knob of the bat. Cooper thought otherwise.
So it's first and second now, 2 down for the Angels here in the second inning. And Eric Ibar coming up. Ibar this season at Fenway Park, 7 for 14 here at Fenway, a career .382 hitter at Fenway. And after a very good season for the Angels, .312 during the regular season, bats out of the number 9 spot. And it takes ball 1 from Clay Buchholz. Angels with 2 on and 2 down here in the second inning. Ibar lifts it down the right field line. Wind will give it a push as Drew heads towards the seats, and it's backing out of play.
That changeup had Ibar way out in front, and he pulled it foul into the seats. This lineup, although it might not have as much power up and down the order, certainly is balanced 1 through 9. When you consider what Ibar has done, and then you can turn it over to the leadoff guy, Sean Figgins. But this is a dangerous lineup, 1 through 9. They have people that take pitches. They have people who work the count. They've got speed. They've got 300 hitters. All the weapons you want, just not as much power as the Red Sox.
Ibar takes a ball. 2-1 now to Ibar. And you talk about the way the lineup is set up for Mike Scioscia. It's perfect for the way that he likes to manage.
Yeah, it sure is. You have switch hitters in the lineup. You have guys that can run. He likes to force the issue. He said it's not angel baseball. It's just sound fundamental baseball.
And a key play last year with Ibar in Game 4 of the ALDS, in a 2-2 game. As he slices this one foul. Trying to lay down a squeeze bunt. The Angels and Ibar failed to do so. The Red Sox went on to score a run in the 9th inning to win that game of the series. That was a big play, but it's not going to change the way Mike Scioscia manages. He's aggressive, and he'll do it again in the same situation. So Rivera at second, Napoli at first, 2 down in the Angels' second inning. Buchholz very deliberate in both the first and second innings, and the pitch count rising.
And when he's got runners on base, he makes sure he takes a lot of time, not wanting to make a mistake in pitch selection. Very deliberate, getting his sign from Victor Martinez.
They're going back and forth and finally agree. Ibar hits a ground ball right side. Pedroia's going to need help as Buchholz covers for the out. The Angels strand a pair. We're through an inning and a half without a score.
That will be very interesting as the game goes on, because the hitters will be standing in the shadows. The pitcher will be in the sunshine. It will create a strobing effect when you try to pick up the baseball. Very difficult time to hit. And you can see the contrast is very dramatic.
And of course, here at Fenway Park, those two sections that are open for night games out there in straightaway center field as part of the batter's eye are blocked off for day games. Kevin Youkilis stands in and takes strike one from Scott Kazmir. Kazmir with 12 first inning pitches retired the side in order and deals with Youkilis, Bay, and Ortiz here in the second inning.
You know, we have talked often about the Red Sox and their patience at the plate, but the first two starters in this series, Lackey and Weaver, have robbed them of that approach because they've consistently gone strike one.
Patience is one thing, but when you're down 0-2 all the time, it's not easy to hit.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for Language of the Game, brought to you by Foster's. And today we're talking about OPS. For those unfamiliar with OPS, it refers to on-base percentage plus slugging percentage. Takes into account the ability to get on base, the ability to hit for power. And Joe Mauer on top, up over 1,000 in that category.
Well, it's a pretty good measure for a hitter's ability, because he's getting on base, obviously, because he has a good eye at the plate, plus the fact that the pitchers are very conservative in their approach because they're good hitters. When you look at the list, it includes Joe Mauer and Kevin Youkilis and Mark Teixeira and Ben Zobrist. Those are real good hitters, and pitchers are very cautious when they pitch to them.
This one fouled down the right field line and out of play. You think about all the pitches that Bobby Abreu sees on a regular basis. Same can be said for Kevin Youkilis. Generally up there a long time every time he heads to the plate. Abreu walks a great deal more than Youkilis, but seemingly up there just as long. It's back and forth, Youkilis and Kazmir.
And one thing that Kevin Youkilis does all the time is he fouls an awful lot of good pitches. He really battles when he gets two strikes.
After the 1-2, hits a high fly ball down the left field line towards the pole, and that ball is foul.
Joe West, the left field foul line umpire, was camped on the foul line and just stationary as he watched that ball. It looked like it was going to be fouled by a wide margin, but you can see that kind of wind kind of just kept it straight. Take a look right here. Youkilis is trying to convince the ball to stay fair, and no, he sees it's fouled. Then right at the end, he thought it was going to blow back toward the fair pole.
Now he strikes out on what appeared to be a high strike call from Eric Cooper. Youkilis can't believe it. And Kazmir's got his first strikeout of the afternoon.
Well, Mike Napoli had a similar pitch called to strike against him, and that is in the same spot. Eric Cooper has been consistent both sides. Twice it's high breaking balls that he calls for a strike. And literally, that's the kind of pitch you want to hit with two strikes. You can knock that ball out of the ballpark. But it's not called to strike very often, and that looked like it was up a bit.
One down for Jason Bay. And with a very good regular season, 36 homers, 119 runs batted in, as Youkilis is still not happy with that third strike call. As Bay takes ball 2, 2-0. Last year in the ALDS against the Angels hit at .412, 2 homers, 5 runs batted in 4 games. 1 for 5 in this ALDS against the Angels, and it's been a different story for the Red Sox in this ALDS so far. Of course, the Angels with outstanding starting pitching in both games 1 and 2. Looking for more of the same today from Kazmir.
In our meeting with the manager, Mike Scioscia, before the game, I asked him if he changed his pitching philosophy against the Red Sox from the regular season. He said, well, if I did, I wouldn't tell you. But it certainly looks like they have. They've used the fastball very aggressively, and they've tried to really establish strike one. Everybody around baseball knows how patient the Red Sox are and how they love to grind out those at-bats. They just want to see a lot of pitches, and they're much better when they do.
It's outside, framed by Napoli. Outfield set up straight away for Jason Bay with 1 out, bases empty. Kazmir's retired the first 4 Red Sox he's faced here in Game 3. Bay takes ball 4 and heads down to first base. First base runner of the day for Boston.
Well, we had mentioned how well the first 2 starters for the Angels have been in this series. They both registered 22 outs. They held the Red Sox just 6 hits and 1 earned run. And look how efficient they were, too. They both kept their pitch counts in good order, and that should allow them to come back and pitch later on should this series go deeper.
1 down, Jason Bay at first base. Here's David Ortiz, the DH. Now bats out of the 6th spot in the Red Sox order. 0 for 8 so far in the series. As he takes strike 1 from Kazmir. Get back to 07 in the ALDS. He was 5 for 7 with 2 big home runs. And last year and this year combined just 4 for 25 in the series against the Angels. Fouls it off to the left and is quickly down 0-2.
David Ortiz has always performed in elimination games. He's played in 19 career elimination games, and he's hit 6 home runs and driven in 25 runs, and that's what he's looking at today. Win or go home for the Red Sox, and Ortiz has been one to always step up.
Ortiz after the 0-2 pitch hits it in the air to left field. Juan Rivera comes in to make the grab for out number 2. And Bay's back to the bag at first with now 2 down. So now 0 for 10 in the series is Ortiz. There's 2 outs here in the 2nd. And Mike Lowell coming up. Is 0 for 7 in the series, and because of the guys we showed you in a graphic a couple moments ago, both Lackey and Weaver, a lot of 0-fers for the Red Sox in this series. We'll check on Bay, who's easily back to the bag.
Well, Jason Bay is very good at stealing. He's 13 of 16 during the regular season, but it's difficult to get a jump against Scott Kazmir. Only 4 steals and 7 attempts during the regular season against Kazmir.
Fly ball to center field. Torrey Hunter making his way in. Mike Lowell is gone, and so are the Red Sox in the 2nd. We played 2 from Fenway Park. No score. No score in game 3 from Fenway Park as we head to the 3rd inning. Similar to the first 2 games in that there was no score at the end of 2 in the first 2. And here we go to the 3rd inning. Look at the roof box seats at Fenway Park down the right field line in the corner. There's Sean Figgins stands in on the left side. They fly it out to left field in the 1st inning. And it takes ball 1 from Clay Buchholz to start the 3rd inning. Figgins hitting at .323 from the left side, .246 from the right side. Struggled down the stretch towards the end of the year. Last 7 games of the regular season at just .174. More strikeouts than hits. 7 Ks and 4 hits in those last 7 games. He's not have a hit in the postseason yet. But ahead here 2-1.
Man, the Red Sox done a good job of keeping him off the bases so they don't have to worry about his stealing bases. And Mike Lowell still even just on the edge of the grass guarding against that bunt.
Chopper to second base. Pedroia plays the very high hop and throws out Figgins for the first out of the inning. Let's check back in with the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Mark Fine. Mark?
All right, Don, as you guys know, Dave Henderson threw out the first pitch today, and I went and talked to Henderson. Not a coincidence that he is here today. Henderson, of course, with the dramatic home run in 1986. Yeah, you remember the jump spin when he was running to first base? Well, he said when the team got down, they gave him a call, said we might need a little luck. Dave, will you come out and throw out the first pitch? That's why he's here.
Here for little luck.
Teams look for anything when they're down to a situation like the Red Sox, and Dave Henderson, he got into the spirit of things, pointing at the Angel dugout and doing that little jump. That's the same jump he did after he hit the 9th inning home run off Donnie Moore in '86. Don Baylor had homered ahead of him, and then Henderson hit a 2-run home run to give them that win.
Bobby Abreu bats with 1 out here in the 3rd inning. He singled his first time up. Ended up in scoring position. Error charged. Angels with 2 hits. Abreu's got 1. Juan Rivera with the other. We've left 3 men on base through the first 2 innings. There's a strike, and it's 2-1.
Abreu is just so comfortable taking pitches. Buchholz knows that Abreu is going to be very patient. Always trying to make good pitches, but Abreu forces you to throw something over the plate. And when he gets 2 strikes, he'll just work to foul off those good borderline pitches and try to make you make a mistake out over the plate.
To right center field, Ellsbury on the run will dive and make the catch in right center. His 2nd spectacular catch of this series.
And made a similar catch in game 1 in the 6th inning off Sean Figgins to steal extra bases from Figgins, and he got a good jump on this sinking fly ball. Got to come quickly, closes ground, dives for it, and takes a base hit away from Bobby Abreu. Boy, he's played with a lot of confidence in the outfield. His game is growing with every season. Took his offensive game to another level this year, and he's done the same with his defensive play.
So 2 down here in the 3rd. For Clay Buchholz, little help from his friends. Jacoby Ellsbury out there in center field, robbing Abreu of his 2nd hit of the day. And 2 down, Torrey Hunter bats. He flied out to center field first time up. Hunter joining the Angels last year. You think about the pickups they've had last year in Torrey Hunter, this year in Bobby Abreu. Not only what they bring on the field, but what they bring in the clubhouse has been enormous for Mike Scioscia. Hunter lifts one to shallow left. Bay will come in now over as the wind plays with it, but he makes the grab that ends the inning. A 1-2-3 third. We're through 2.5 in game 3 without a score. The Angels and Red Sox as Scott Kazmir toes the rubber here for the third. Only base runner for Boston through the first 2 innings. A 1-out walk for Jason Bay, who was unable to advance. And Kazmir is ready to deal with 8, 9, and 1 for the Red Sox. J.D. Drew takes strike 1 from Kazmir.
There's that familiar frame, strike 1, and that's what's really served the Angels starters well throughout this series.
Drew goes after the second pitch and is quickly down 0-2.
Yeah, the Red Sox hitters are so good when they can look at pitches, take pitches, force you into hitter counts, but the Angels starters haven't allowed them to do that.
One of the advantages coming into this series, on paper anyway, is the Red Sox bullpen compared to the Angels bullpen if you take a look at the body of work during the regular season. But it's not been a factor because they can't really get past the starter so far.
Well, that's any manager's goal, to keep your starter out there as long as possible. You never want to use your bullpen when you have to. You want to use them when you want to, when you have the good matchups, when you get to choose when you bring your relievers in. Mike Sosa so far has seen both of his starters give him 7 1/3. That's terrific pitching.
Drew lifts a fly ball to left field. Back goes Juan Rivera at the wall to make the catch. Not much more room to work with for Juan Rivera, as J.D. Drew is out number 1 of the inning. It's time to talk to you. Brought to you by Charles Schwab. We mentioned Mike Butcher, the pitching coach for the Angels, with Scott Kazmir in Tampa. We asked about them being reunited.
Just real excited to get him back. He was throwing the ball pretty good before he left Tampa. Just made some minor adjustments just to get that nice even flow going in his delivery, keep that good rhythm and getting through the ball. But he's just been a pleasure to have. He's been working hard. He's been a great addition to our staff.
Mike, so far the fastball looks good, but it looks to me like he's been up a little bit with his slider. Any adjustments to help him get that ball down?
Well, I'd like it to be down, but it seems like Cooper seems to be calling the high strike on the breaking stuff. So, it's okay for right now, but when he's going to try to put away guys, you have to get that thing down in the zone for a swing through, hopefully.
Thanks very much, Mike.
You got it.
Mike Butcher, the pitching coach for the Angels, kind enough to join us throughout the entire series.
Yeah, first time through the order, he was up with his slider more than he wanted to, and he got a couple of called strikes on the high slider, but that's not where you want to pitch in this ballpark, especially. You leave that high slider up there around the letters, and somebody will turn it into a home run.
It appeared when Kazmir was going bad in the tail end of his time spent with the Tampa Bay Rays, it was because his slider, which normally is pretty biting, was very ineffective.
Yeah, it was a little flat running along the plane of the swing, and Mike Butcher made some minor adjustments to his delivery to keep his hand on top and get that down and in break. They talk about that back foot breaking ball, if you will, and early on he got around the slider, and that caused it to stay flat along the plane of the bat, and it got hit.
Gonzalez fouls it off to the right. Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop for the Red Sox, batting out of the number 9 spot. The full count here with 1 down in the 3rd inning. Kazmir finishing the season very well, 4-2 with a 2.25 ERA in his last 9 starts. Ball 4, and down to first base goes Gonzalez. Second free pass served up by Kazmir of the day. So a 1-out base runner for Boston, and the top of the order, Jacoby Ellsbury, who has already been heard from today defensively with a nice grab out in right center field to rob Bobby Abreu. Ellsbury fly to left his first time up. And it's strike 1 to Ellsbury. Kazmir does have postseason experience, of course, last year with the Tampa Bay Rays. Kazmir was 1-1 with a 4.21 earned run average in 5 starts. Made 2 starts against the Red Sox in the ALCS. Not have a record of 4.35 ERA. That held the Red Sox to a 2.05 average. Ellsbury shoots it into left field for a base hit. Juan Rivera plays it, and the Red Sox have their first hit of the day.
Well, that got a little life into the Fenway crowd here after a one-out walk. First hit of the day on a fastball away from Ellsbury. Not trying to do too much with it. Just drives it past Sean Figgins, who's drawn in on the edge of the grass. And this puts Kazmir in a tough spot, considering it brings Dustin Pedroia to the plate. And we talk about Pedroia and how hard he has hit Kazmir throughout his career.
First and second, one down. Pedroia grounded out to third base, first time up. Kazmir missing away.
Playing off the aggressiveness of Dustin Pedroia, tried to throw a changeup and really missed badly with it. Now Pedroia's got to be even more confident he's going to get a fastball at some point in this at bat.
A strike, and it evens at 1-1. Fastball at 93. Pedroia drives it to deep left center field. Back towards the wall and off it. From second base, Alex Gonzalez scores. Trying from first is Ellsbury. Throw to the plate is not in time, and the Red Sox lead it 2-0. A wall ball double for Dustin Pedroia, and the fast start for the Red Sox in Game 3.
When you have a lot of success against a pitcher, you go to the plate with a lot of confidence, and Pedroia gets the pitch down out over the plate and drills it off the green monster. Ellsbury running from first, got a good read on it, knew he was going to score. The one-hop relay to Ibar, the throw's late to the plate. Two-run. You can see the runner from second scores. Gonzalez, and Ellsbury knew immediately when that ball hit the green monster he was going to score.
Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, out to talk to Kazmir. Just the one walk through the first 2 innings. Kazmir serves up 2 runs here in the third so far. Pedroia at second base with 1 out.
Dave Magadan going over the Ellsbury at bat, just reconfirming their thoughts about Kazmir and what they might get from him. Ellsbury got the first hit of the ball game and comes in on the Pedroia double.
Pedroia at second base. Victor Martinez with his second look of the day at Scott Kazmir. Flied out to right, first time up. And behind that, 95-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 1.
We asked Terry Francona if anything was different in his clubhouse today. He said, no, everybody's the same. Petey came in and says, I don't want the season to end today. Dustin Pedroia is the emotional leader of this ball club. He said that's the way Pedroia is every day. Never wants to see the season come to an end.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. As part of Terry Francona's meeting today with us, you were talking about the number of guys on the Red Sox who have had that attitude, like, trying to prove something. And that is certainly what you think of when you think of Dustin Pedroia, who his entire life has had to prove that he's a major leaguer, starting with Rookie of the Year, MVP, and it goes on and on.
Yeah, he was told throughout his life he is too small to play. And he's always proven everybody wrong. And you look at this clubhouse, and Dustin Pedroia is the guy that leads them emotionally. He doesn't think there's a pitcher in the world that should get him out.
Center fielder Torrey Hunter, step or two towards right center. Wait for Martinez to go the other way. The 1-2 is to left. Juan Rivera going back over his head. It'll one hop the wall. Pedroia coming around from second with the third Boston run of the day. Victor Martinez cashes in, and the Red Sox lead it 3-0.
Looked like an off-speed pitch that Martinez hit with one hand. Just kind of reached out and stroked it toward left field. Hit it past Juan Rivera. One hop the Green Monster. Take a look at the swing. You can see he takes that top hand off and extends with the bottom hand. Gets enough of it to short hop the fence. Pedroia gets a good read on it. Gets a break quickly from second and scores the third run of this inning.
So a 3-run third inning so far for the Red Sox. Kevin Youkilis with Martinez at first. Look, we made quite a bit of Scott Kazmir and his experiences against the Red Sox. I guess it works both ways. The Red Sox certainly have had their experiences with Scott Kazmir.
Yeah, and they know him very well. They have had a lot of at-bats against them. They know when he's dominant what the keys are.
To center, but right at Torrey Hunter. Makes the grab out there in center field for the second out of the inning. Nicholas dismayed as he hit it hard, but right at Hunter for the second out.
But this is the first time in this series we've seen the Red Sox swinging with authority. They've gotten pitches to drive, and they've done that.
Jason Bay walked in the second inning, one of 2 walks given up by Scott Kazmir through 2 2/3. Talked about the Red Sox at home as well. 56-25 during the regular season here at Fenway Park. The Red Sox under 500 on the road, 39-42. Terry Francona, when asked about it before the game, said that's really the way it's been the last 3 years for the Red Sox here at home. To the left center field, Rivera's on the move, and he'll make the running catch to make the grab that ends the inning. But the Red Sox put a 3 spot on the board. It's 3-0 Boston.
vantage point high above the Green Monster, and for many, many years there was simply a net above the Green Monster, and everybody came into this ballpark wanting to hit a ball up into the net. Now the fans can sit up there and get a totally different perspective looking down on the field from high above the left field warning track.
Vladimir Guerrero, a big swing and a miss for strike one. Certainly an important inning for Clay Buchholz here in the fourth.
Yeah, it's always important when you have a good bottom half of the previous inning for your pitcher to come out and try to throw up a zero, just to keep the Angels from getting any encouragement. They can get back in this game quickly.
Alex Gonzalez to first for the out. It's time to talk, brought to you by Charles Schwab. We talked about Clay Buchholz with his pitching coach John Farrell in between innings.
Well, you know, it's been widely reported about the amount of nervousness that he had, but I think he's done a great job of keeping his emotions in check, and more importantly, he's gotten some outs with his fastball, particularly in some hitter counts. So it's showing some action to the pitch, and he's been able to throw both his fastball and his changeup to both sides of the plate.
John, you've been on the mound. How much do the 3 runs mean to his being able to really get into the flow of this game now?
Well, you know, Buck, the biggest thing will be putting a 0 up in this inning and keep the momentum on our side, but it does give him a little breathing room, but still, I think unanswered runs are probably the most important thing.
Thanks very much, John.
Okay, guys.
Why wouldn't he be nervous? 25 years old, making his first postseason appearance in a do-or-die situation for the Red Sox. You could understand if he was a little anxious.
Well, he was honest with the media the other day, in meeting with the media, saying that nerves are certainly going to be there for the first and second inning. I'm sure they were there for the third, too. As he works here now in the fourth with 1 down and going right through the middle of this Angels order right now. He gets Guerrero for the first out of the fourth. Now Kendry Morales down 0-2. The breaking ball missing away.
Yeah, he threw that curveball on the previous pitch to Morales and got it into the strike zone. That's the first real good curveball we've seen from him today, but that's another indication he's starting to get more comfortable and getting relaxed into this game. Using that curveball, it's always been a very good pitch for him, and I think he's going to utilize it a little bit more now that he's through the lineup once.
High drive to right field. Back goes J.D. Drew onto the warning track at the wall. It's gone. Kendry Morales, who had 34 home runs during the regular season, has a home run here to get the Angels on the board in the fourth.
Well, that's what John Farrell was talking about, trying to put up a 0 here in the top of the fourth inning after the Red Sox have gone up 3-0.
So Kendry Morales answers for the Angels here in the fourth inning.
High fastball, and that's the pitch that the hitters have been alerted that Eric Cooper's going to call high pitches, so Kendry Morales saw that high fastball and didn't hesitate to jump all over it.
Now Juan Rivera, who's singled in the second inning. First postseason home run for Morales. Juan Rivera, who singled to center field in the second, then stole second base, was left at second base in the second inning. There, rolls it over, foul. In the dirt, and it's 1-2 to Rivera.
You know, John Farrell had talked about his young pitcher and how he was excited. He wanted to get out and get into the flow of this game. And one thing they don't want Buchholz to do an awful lot, as we mentioned at the top of the show, is think how he's going to pitch to hitters. Leave the thinking to Victor Martinez. John Farrell and Jason Varitek have sat with Martinez and given him a real good game plan for Buchholz to attack the Angels hitters. But if he starts to freewheeling it out there, he's going to lose his focus and concentration. All he needs to think about, being a young pitcher, is executing the pitch Martinez calls. Don't think about how you're setting up hitters or what you're going to throw next. Just focus on one pitch at a time.
It's the interesting part of his last regular season start, where towards the end of it he was shaking Victor Martinez off a lot, and that became a discussion after the game, certainly, and has not done very much of that today.
He doesn't have 200 innings of major league experience yet, so why wouldn't you trust your catcher, especially when you know that Victor Martinez has sat with Jason Varitek and John Farrell to put together a game plan.
"3-2 is chopped to third. Even with the bag, Lowell's throw across is in time to get Juan Rivera for the second out of the inning. Check back in with Mark Fine.
Yeah, after Morales' big home run, guys, I think it's interesting to point out, everybody knows about his tribulations in Cuba, 12 attempts to get out, put in jail 3 times. He says that definitely has had an effect on the type of player he is on the field. He learned perseverance. He learned persistence. What he also told me is the transition, still a work in progress. He's trying to get more comfortable in this country, wants to learn the language better, wants to become a citizen. He thinks that'll make him an even better player on the field, which is scary.
There's a pop-up into shallow left center. Back goes Gonzalez to make the grab from shortstop. Home run for Kendry Morales has the Angels on the board. 3.5 done, 3-1 Red Sox. Lopez tonight, weeknights at 11, 10 Central, starting November 9th, only on TBS. The Angels with a run in the top half of this, the 4th inning, a home run by Kendry Morales. A 3-1 Boston lead to the bottom of the 4th as David Ortiz, first pitch swinging. That's one in the air to left field. Wind takes it. Rivera moves over to make the catch. Seen a few of those as the wind is blowing from left to right across the outfield here at Fenway Park.
Yeah, it seems like the wind has picked up a little bit, coming straight over the top of that green monster, blowing everything over toward the right field corner. And outfielders starting to be very aware of it, that they're going to have to track these balls as that wind is intensified just a bit.
And Juan Rivera out there in left field making the adjustment on that fly ball for the first out of the 4th inning. Here's Mike Lowell. Will fly out to center field in the second.
It's the one fly ball, and
Mike Lowell ahead in the count 3-0. Certainly well documented. The hip surgery he had during the offseason. Last year in the postseason, Buck, it was painful to watch him move around. He just couldn't and had to be shut down.
he's really played well in the field and got some of his first step quickness back, and he made a couple of real good plays in Anaheim. A couple of hot shot ground balls, snared a line drive to his backhand side.
In the air to left field. Juan Rivera's going back, and it's off the wall. He'll play the carom, and Lowell will be held to a long single.
And so many times you hear people talk about how the Green Monster helps guys hit home runs. Well, it also robs you of home runs from time to time. Another high pitch up out over the plate, and Mike hits it on the line high up on the Green Monster. This is a normal ballpark with a shorter fence. That ball's probably out of the ballpark, but that time it's a long single for Mike Lowell, about 3/4 of the way up on the Green Monster.
Well, a couple of bids for home runs today for the Red Sox. Still do not have one in the series. As the pitch for a strike over the inside corner to Drew. Drew with a look back at Eric Cooper. Drew flied out to the warning track in left field in the third inning. Drew hitting out of the 8th spot in the lineup again. He did that during the regular season. Hit at .433. Inside again, and it's 2-1.
It's pretty interesting. You could have a hitter as good as J.D. Drew hitting 8th in your lineup, but that just speaks to the depth of this Red Sox batting order. You got Victor Martinez 3rd, Euclid 4th, and Bay 5th, and then Big Poppy's hitting 6th. So a lot of thunder in the lineup.
To center field. Torrey Hunter's going back. It's going to be over his head and gone. Up off the stanchion and straightaway center field. It's gone. And it's a 2-run shot. And a 5-1 Red Sox lead.
Now, Joe West never hesitated. He saw it clearly above the fence in center field and stepped out on the field from his left field foul line position, indicating home run immediately. Torrey Hunter did it as well, the center fielder. First home run hit by the Red Sox in this series.
Well, Drew, who finished the regular season with a flourish in 52 games, 12 home runs, has got one here.
Down out over the plate, right in Drew's wheelhouse, and he drills it to center field, and it's above the fence and hits off that brace just above the center field fence. Torrey Hunter knew it. He was standing there taking a good look at it.
.24 during the regular season for J.D. Drew. 7th career postseason home run for Drew. And a 4-run Boston lead now in the 4th inning. Gonzalez pops it up. Right side of the Angels infield. His Turris takes care of out number 2 of the inning. Action in the pen for the Angels. Jason Bolger, right-hander, first up. Kazmir surrendering 3 runs in the third, 2 here in the fourth. And here's Jacoby Ellsbury with 2 outs and the base is empty.
Kazmir's been up more today than we have seen him in his last several starts. He's struggled to get that breaking ball down. He's left a lot of high sliders up, and he hasn't had great command of his fastball.
Broken bat, little grounder back to the mound. Kazmir fields and throws, and Ellsbury is gone. J.D. Drew has hit a 2-run home run that put Boston on top 5-1. In this ALDS series, game number 3, Boston scoring 3 times in the third, twice in the fourth, as the Angels come to bat in the fifth. Only blemish for Clay Buchholz, the home run by Kendry Morales in the fourth inning, as he misses for ball 1 to Mike Napoli, who's hit by a pitch in the second. The shadows have now made their way out beyond the home plate area as the sun darts in and out today. Napoli, Ibar, and Figgins to bat here in the fifth inning. Works out to be 8-9-1 for the Angels. In there for a strike, and it's 3-1. Buchholz with 1 strikeout today. He has not walked anybody. And giving up 3 hits along with that home run. At 70 pitches, it's taken him a while to get through the first 4 innings. Strike 2 and a full count.
Well, they'll take this pace because they have so many power arms down in their bullpen, and he's giving them starting a little bit of a cushion right now, so they're not going to worry too much about his pitch count. As long as he continues to throw with conviction, and that's what we've seen, where he's really committed to every pitch.
Napoli after the 3-2 sends a base hit down the left field line, kicks off the boxes, and the ricochet is nasty. It's by Bay to the track, and taking second base is Napoli. It's right down the left field line, and it's a weird carom off the door down that left field line and change directions on Bay and left.
Yeah, you just never know what you're going to get as that ball is ripped inside the bag at third base. Jason Bay knows he's got to come over in that corner in control, and you see how quickly that hit a piece of padding down there and shot back onto the field. Bay has to change directions, and it just catches a padding in an awkward fashion. Normally you don't see it hit there. A little further down where the overhead door is, that's when you get the real tricky bounces.
Here is Eric Ibar with Napoli at second base as he takes strike 1. Jason Bay has become a very good left fielder here at Fenway Park. Knows the carom since coming over from the Pittsburgh Pirates. That one caught him by surprise.
It sure did, and he was expecting the ball to go a little bit further down the line before he had to start to deal with any kind of weird hops. And when you really think about it, there's not a whole lot of territory to cover out there because the fence isn't so deep, and you've got that green monster. But once you get into that left field corner, that's where you really become challenged as a defender.
Ibar 0 for 1 as he sends that one foul, and it's 0-2. There's a look at where it kicked off and changed direction on Bay.
And there was nothing really there except the padding. It just bounced up and caught the padding enough to shoot it back onto the field.
Well, the Angels here with another chance with the runner in scoring position. They are 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Napoli's at second with nobody out. Grounds it foul by the Red Sox dugout, and it hangs at 0-2.
That's Daisuke Matsuzaka down there. He is not going to pitch in this series as a starter, but Terry Francona has told us he could be used out of the bullpen. That's why he continues to stay loose down in that Red Sox bullpen.
There was some speculation that he would start game 4 of this series if necessary, and that's not the case. They'll bring back John Lester on short rest if the Red Sox get that far.
Well, and Terry Francona said that he talked to Daisuke before the series ever started and said unless John Lester throws an extraordinary amount of pitches, he's pitching in game 4. They were going to bring him back, so Daisuke is well aware of the situation.
And if there is a game 4, the Angels would go with Joe Saunders, so Mike Scioscia electing to go with his left-handers here in Boston.
Well, Saunders, much like Kazmir, has pitched well in this ballpark, so he's not too concerned about the fact that he is left-handed.
Lester has pitched just on 3 days rest once in his career and was against the Angels back in April of last year. There is strike 3 to Ibar. Second strikeout for Clay Buchholz. Let's check in with Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Ernie. Thanks very much, Ernie. Back here at Fenway Park in Boston. And today, very nice conditions here at Fenway Park. Not so much in Denver yesterday. A little bit of snow.
Well, I applaud baseball for making a quick decision and not forcing that game to be played under those weather conditions.
Sean Figgins 0 for 2 today. Flied out to left in the first. He grounded out to second base in the third.
I don't think it's going to be a real heat wave there tonight, but at least it might not be snowing.
Higgins takes the strike, and it's 1-1.
Boy, Buchholz has done a nice job of using all his pitches. That was a changeup. And whatever concerns the Red Sox had about him being nervous certainly showed that he's in control here.
On the ground, foul outside of first. And it's a ball and 2 strikes to Sean Figgins. Has not been heard from offensively in this series. 0 for 10 for the Angels.
And that's one of the challenges the Red Sox had, trying to keep Figgins off the bases, and they certainly have done that.
Napoli at second base with 1 away, and Figgins backs out. The end of the season, such a huge barometer a lot of times for pitchers, how they were going right at the end of the year. And for Buchholz, in his last 2 starts prior to this postseason start, he gave up 6 home runs and was 0-1, a couple of back-to-back rough outings. But prior to that, he had gone 5-0 with a 1.32 earned run average and only 1 home run allowed. So it was a great stretch before it, and appears to be back going well today as he strikes out Figgins. Figgins doesn't like it, takes with him the 3rd strikeout for Clay Buchholz on the day, 2 down.
Boy, after the leadoff double to Napoli, Buchholz has made a couple of real good 2-strike pitches. That looked like a breaking ball inside. He freezes Sean Figgins. Back-to-back strikeouts looking.
So Mike Napoli leads this inning off for the Angels with a double. He's still standing at second base with 2 down as Buchholz strikes out Ibar and Figgins. And now here's Bobby Abreu.
This is where Abreu will change his approach, and if he gets a good pitch to hit on the first pitch, he'll be ready to swing. Got a chance to drive in a run here.
A strike to Abreu, 96 on the fastball.
With a little late movement.
Well, the Angels have the right guy up in this situation with the runner at second base and Mike Napoli. Fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Buchholz with the 0-2 pitch to Bobby Abreu. Up and away for ball 1, 1-2.
You talk about the chemistry between a pitcher and a catcher. Victor Martinez caught Buchholz's last 13 starts, so he has a real good idea what to do to get Buchholz right into the proper frame of mind. See the difference in the numbers with Veritek behind the plate for Buchholz and Victor Martinez. For some reason, they just have a pretty good chemistry. And again, Victor encouraging him to stay back, calm down, and make a good pitch right here.
Abreu hits a fly ball out towards center field. Jacoby Ellsbury waiting for it to come down. Puts it away for out number 3. Halfway through this one, Boston on top 5-1. Boston on top 5-1 as they come to bat in the fifth. It's Pedroia, Martinez, and Youkilis to face Scott Kazmir. It's turned out to be a beautiful fall afternoon in Boston. As Pedroia takes strike one from Kazmir, who gives up 3 runs in the third, 2 runs in the fourth. Pedroia 1 for 2, a double in the third inning, came around to score. Bolger continues to throw in the pen for the Angels as he did last inning. Almost diving into that ball, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, he's aggressive. He's always thinking about hitting the fastball, and he can hit a high fastball. A lot of people think you can pound him with fastballs, but that's not the case at all. He loves to hit the fastball, and he'll jump on a high fastball. Takes a big swing, and oftentimes early in his career people wanted to have him cut down his swing, become more of a line drive hitter. He is a line drive hitter, but he's always going to have a big forceful swing. He really commits to giving everything he has on every pitch.
One of the hardest guys in the majors to strike out. 45 Ks and 714 plate appearances. Ibar to his left throws on the run and in time to get Pedroia for the first out here in the bottom of the fifth. Don't miss any of the action of the 2009 Major League Baseball postseason. The excitement continues with the Division Series on TBS. 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth inning, and it brings up Victor Martinez. Martinez flied out to right in the first. He singled in the third to drive in a run. Five hits for Boston, 4 so far for the Angels, as Martinez fooled on the pitch is quickly down 0-2.
Pretty good changeup there, had Victor Martinez out in front. Well, one thing that we haven't seen really in a consistent fashion from Kazmir is the good breaking ball today. He hasn't had a real good slider.
Martinez hits a fly ball out towards right field. Bobby Abreu makes the catch for the second out of the fifth inning, and there's 2 down. So 2 quick outs for Kazmir here in the fifth. And it brings up Kevin Youkilis. Youkilis struck out looking in the second inning, the only strikeout of the day for Scott Kazmir. And then Youkilis lined out to center in the third.
There's a little more depth on the slider. Good first pitch slider. Gets Kazmir ahead of Youkilis.
Quiet series for Youkilis so far, just 1 for 10.
Kazmir didn't like that baseball. That last fastball got away from him well outside.
To center field. Torrey Hunter goes back to make the catch. It ends the inning. Kazmir is a 1-2-3 fifth. We're through 5 with Boston on top 5-1. It's on to the 6th inning back at Fenway Park in Boston. Game 3 of the American League Division Series. And after dropping the first 2 games of this series, the Boston Red Sox enjoy a 4-run lead as the Angels come to bat in the 6th. Clay Buchholz has given up just 1 run through the first 5. And has to deal with 3, 4, and 5 for the Angels here in the 6th inning. Hunter with the bunt bid. Bunts it foul.
And Mike Lowe was deep at third base. Hunter taking an opportunity, trying to get something started here, middle of their order. 3, 4, and 5 here in this inning. You see how deep Mike Lowe is. Not expecting Torrey Hunter to bunt. He scores around early, but pops it into foul territory.
The Angels only trailing by 4 runs. The biggest deficit that they have had to overcome this year was 7 runs in a 9-8 win against Seattle back on May 31st. Hunter down 0-2. To left and in for a hit. Over is Jason Bay to play it. It gets by him to the track and the wall. Hunter thinking 2, and he will get there standing. A double to start the 6th inning for Torrey Hunter.
0-2 fastball, the inside part of the plate, and Hunter's able to turn on it. He hits it on a line to left field. You can see the swing down and in, and he hits it all the way to the wall. Jason Bay gets to it in pretty good shape right here, but when he reaches for it, he drops it. And that allows Hunter to coast into second base with a leadoff double. Always thinking about 2 out of the box. Then he looks up and sees Bay, but bobble allows him to coast into second.
So Hunter at second base to start the 6th. Mike Napoli was there to start the 5th. And this bluff off the backside is Hunter diving back. He might have hurt himself in the process.
He might have knocked the wind out of himself as he hit that ground awfully hard. Got caught by surprise. Dives back in and really hits the ground hard as he was. Got him now. Wow, what a mistake. Oh, look what
Buchholz puts his head down and they charged him with a balk.
Yeah. Brian Gorman, the second base umpire, called a balk immediately. And they had Hunter hung out to dry. Buchholz didn't step off the rubber, just makes a move. Now watch when Hunter breaks. Buchholz is going to just make a move at him before he ever stepped off. And Brian Gorman, the second base umpire, called it immediately.
So Hunter at third base now with nobody out. Looking into his dugout to fire up the Angels. They are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position as Guerrero chops one down the third baseline foul. Vladimir Guerrero 0 for 2. He's grounded out to second base, bounced out to short. Breaking ball ends up over his head as he darts back out of the way. That breaking ball slipped out of the hand of Buchholz.
Yeah, it sure did. Look like another curveball. He was trying to spin real hard down and away. It just slipped out of his hand. Guerrero was lucky. He didn't see this ball until it's past him. By the time he ducks out of the way, Martinez has to stab it up around his helmet.
Guerrero hits it on the ground. Diving at third is Lowell. He knocks it down. Hunter waited and stopped and returns to third for some reason.
Boy, that's a mistake there too. On contact, he has to go that far to his left. The Red Sox are not going to try to make a play of the play. They're going to concede a run and take the out. Watch Torrey Hunter's reaction at third base. He hesitates, and once you do that, you got to hold your ground. You got to go on contact on that play, especially when Lowell is going so far to his left and dives for the ball. Right here, no reaction. He freezes the hesitation, and once he does that, he's got to hold his ground.
So first and third, nobody out. And it brings up Kendry Morales, who hit a solo home run off Clay Buchholz in the 4th inning. There's ball one to Morales.
Yeah, the Angels are always pushing the envelope on the bases. They're the best at going first to third, and they always advance on a ground ball. The infield was back in a situation like that. Daniel Bard, hard-throwing right-hander, loosening up for the Red Sox.
Hunter at third, Guerrero at first, nobody out. Throw to first, and the bluff back the other way by Euclid. Shooting down the line was Hunter.
This is always a difficult inning for managers, the sixth inning. You're middle of the order, and you're in kind of no man's land. You make a move to your bullpen. You still trust your starter that he's got enough to get through this inning. You're in the heart of the Angels lineup. Wheels are spinning in both dugouts right now.
Bluff to third, a look to first, didn't throw to either venue.
And this is exactly what Victor Martinez is concerned about, the distractions for Buchholz. Here comes Euclid, here comes the pitching coach. Everybody sees the red flag immediately. Hey, Clay, let's get back to worrying about the hitter. This guy hit a home run in his last at bat against you. These runners on base don't really mean anything. The fourth inning, Henry Morales gets a high fastball and drills it to the seats in right field. First run for the Angels, and you can't be distracted by base runner when you got a power hitter like Morales at the plate. So Victor Martinez went to the mound immediately. Euclid came over, and out from the dugout, the pitching coach. Everybody wanting to get Clay Buchholz refocused here.
Look at what has been a pretty good line for Clay Buchholz today. 92 pitches. Does not have an out yet here in the sixth inning. The double by Hunter, the balk got him to third base. Vladimir Guerrero with the infield hit, so it's first and third, nobody out. Daniel Bard ready to go should they choose to go in that direction. Morales takes ball two. Outside, it's 3-0.
Yeah, he's real close to the end of the road here. If he allows Morales to get on, don't be surprised if they go right to Bard. But he seemed to be rattled here. He had the balk. He had the concern about first and third, with Guerrero at first not being a stolen base threat at all.
Taken all the way and taking ball four is Morales. This will load the bases for the Angels with nobody out. And here comes Terry Francona. That is the first walk for Buchholz, and that'll be the day.
Yep. Can't afford to wait for him to come around with the bases loaded and nobody out. You got a 4-run lead, and you got a lot of big arms down in your bullpen.
And that big arm coming on will be Daniel Bard. It's 5-1, Red Sox on top. The pitching change from Fenway Park.
a great place for fans to come and watch. And down the right field line stretches out to 385. The center field fence 17 feet high. The Green Monster 37 feet high, and it's prone to quirky bounces, as we saw back in the 5th inning when Mike Napoli hit that leadoff double down the left field line.
Daniel Bard in here for the Red Sox, first out of the pen after 5+ from Clay Buchholz, and he comes into a tough situation. Bases loaded, nobody out for the hard-throwing right-hander.
Well, and you can see he pitched a lot for the Red Sox in the regular season, making 49 appearances. He's got a big fastball, throws 100 miles an hour from time to time. Opponents hitting just 228. Terry Francona got him into the game 1 out in Anaheim. He worked the 8th inning, had a 1-2-3 8th inning, and struck out 2 hitters. So this is his 2nd appearance in this series, and obviously it's important to get the rust off and get him acclimated to postseason play.
Juan Rivera comes to bat with the bases loaded and nobody out. The Angels did not have a grand slam during the regular season. Hunter at third, Guerrero at second, Morales at first, and nobody out. Rivera with a single in the 2nd inning. He grounded out in the 4th. And he takes strike 1 from Bard.
This is where it's very challenging for a hitter facing a big fastball from Bard, because the shadows are almost halfway between the home and mound. Bard is in sunshine, Rivera's in the shade. It's difficult to really get a good focus on the baseball.
In tight, and we've noticed some late reactions from some of the hitters as well. Guerrero and now Rivera on that last pitch. Ball and a strike to Juan Rivera. Is the spin the toughest part of it when you're talking about the shadows?
Yeah, it's really difficult to pick up any kind of rotation on a breaking ball, but it's just such a contrast from the bright sunshine to the shade of home plate.
It's outside for ball 2, 2-1. Changes colors on the way in.
Bright out there on the mound, and then watch, it disappears halfway to home plate.
You deal with in day baseball from Fenway Park. The Angels here with a terrific opportunity. Bases loaded, nobody out. And Rivera takes ball 3, 3-1. Fastball off the mark for Bard.
When you have the kind of fastball Daniel Bard features, you don't have to make perfect pitches with it. You don't have to worry about working to the corners.
Rivera, late cut, 99 on the fastball, gets a piece and fouls it off to the right. Full count.
Yeah, you can be very aggressive when you've got a big fastball like Daniel Bard.
Bases filled with Angels with nobody out here in the 6th inning. A 3-2 pitch to Juan Rivera. Broken bat, grounded to third. Lowell will go to second for 1, on to first for 2. Run scores in the back door as Torrey Hunter scores the 2nd Angels run, but the Red Sox will certainly take that exchange.
What a terrific turn at second base by Dustin Pedroia. The fastball breaks the bat of Rivera. Mike Lowell goes to his left, and with the off-balance throw, Pedroia gets so much on this throw, off balance, going away from the bag. He throws a strike to Euclid for the double play. A terrific turn at second by Pedroia.
The interested spectator, no doubt, is Clay Buchholz, who likes what he sees. Meiser is Turris. Takes ball 1. Vladimir Guerrero now at third base for Los Angeles with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Here's Turris. He is 0 for 2. He is struck out, popped out. Pops it up. Short left. Gonzalez battling the sunshine to make the catch that ends the inning. Bard comes on, keeps the damage to a minimum. Red Sox on top 5-2. In the last half of the sixth inning for Boston, it's 5-2. Red Sox on top of the Angels. Hall of Famer Ted Williams and his statue outside Fenway Park. To right field as Abreu started back, now comes in. Remember, that's a Sunfield out there in right field, but Abreu has no problem. And there's one down.
A little bit early in the afternoon to really create the dramatic problems. You remember back in '78, Lou Piniella had his hands full out in right field in that great tiebreaker game between the Yankees and the Red Sox. All the outfielders comfortable wearing sunglasses. Torrey Hunter has them on and has had them on all afternoon.
One down here in the sixth inning for David Ortiz. He has flied out twice, and both times to the Angels left fielder Juan Rivera. He is 0 for 10 in the playoffs so far for the Red Sox. Time called as a late time call from Eric Cooper, home plate umpire. Kazmir holding up. Third straight inning, Kazmir has started the inning with Bulger warming in the pen behind him. The shift is on. The shortstop Ibar on the right side of the infield takes care of Ortiz for the second out of the sixth inning.
Ortiz still looking for his first hit. He's now 0 for 11 in the series.
So it's 7 in a row now retired by Kazmir. The concourse beyond the bleachers in right center field here at Fenway Park. And 2 down in the sixth inning. Mike Lowell 1 for 2 as he takes strike one from Scott Kazmir. In tight, and Lowell barely gets out of the way. He's kind of jackknifes out of the way. 1-1.
Casimir threw this fastball well off the plate. Just held on to it too long, trying to make sure he didn't leave it out over the plate. Mike Lowell's hit 4 home runs against Casimir. Off the plate outside with the fastball. You know, when you look at the pitch total, and it's really in good shape for Scott Casimir, not a concern whatsoever. He hasn't given up a hint since the J.D. Drew 2-run home run. It's Lowell to chase that breaking ball. But again, I think the shadows are becoming a factor here in the middle innings.
We've seen some strange reactions, some strange swings.
Yeah. I don't think hitters are really tracking the baseball very well right now.
This one skips in and off the shoulder of Napoli. Full count now. Not close. Mike Lowell draws a 2-out walk. Third base on balls given up by Casimir on the day. He was cruising right along, retiring the last 7 batters he had faced, but a 2-out walk from Mike Lowell. And another chance for J.D. Drew, who took him deep with a 2-run home run in the 4th. Third straight inning that Bulger has been up in the pen. Inside for ball 1.
This is probably going to be Casimir's last hitter. The right-handed hitting Alex Gonzalez is on deck. If Lowell keeps the inning alive, they'll probably go to Bulger to try to close it out.
On the ground at first base, Morales will take it himself to the bag to end the inning. Through 6 from Fenway Park in Game 3. Boston on top 5-2. 5-2 as we head to the 7th inning in Game 3 of this American League Division Series. It's 8-9-1 for the Angels in the inning against Daniel Bard, who came on in the 6th inning, got a huge double play as he came in with the bases loaded, nobody out, and allowed only 1 run. Red Sox certainly taking that exchange.
Yeah, what you need to do if you're Daniel Bard right now is just pound the strike zone. You got a 3-run cushion. You can't afford to walk anybody to encourage the Angels. They can come back in this game.
The breaking ball for the strike has Napoli looking back at Eric Cooper.
That's been a strike all day long, even though it's borderline high. Eric Cooper has called this high breaking ball a strike all afternoon.
Napoli has been hit by a pitch and has doubled. He's been on twice today.
You know what makes it so difficult for hitters when Bard throws 100 is his easy delivery. It doesn't give you the sense that he's just going to really explode that fastball in on you. But it's a very smooth delivery and the ball just jumps out of his hand.
Napoli with a swing and a miss strikes out. Gets him on the slider for the first out of the 7th.
Well, that's a great adjustment with the slider. He hung the first slider but caught a called strike, and here he finishes it. A strike the ball breaking ball that Napoli misses. He threw a hanging slider earlier in the at bat and got the called strike, but he really drives through his delivery and finishes off this great breaking ball.
1 out here in the 7th inning for Eric Ibar, who is 0 for 2 from the number 9 spot in the Angels order. Grounded out in the 2nd, struck out in the 5th. Buchholz, the starter today for Boston, ends up with 5+ innings, giving up the 2 runs the Angels have. As you see Billy Wagner warming up in the pen for Boston. It's outside, and it's 3-0. You talked about the power arms the Red Sox have.
Average fastball coming out of that bullpen. Everybody but Okajima over 90, and Bard averages 97 with his heater. And the reason that's so effective late in the season, into the postseason, is hitters have a tendency to be a little bit tired. Their bats are a little bit slower. And when you can run those powerful fastballs up there, you got a chance to have some effective innings. The big guy, Jonathan Papelbon, already starting to loosen up, even though we're just in the 7th.
In there for strike 2, and Bard has battled back. It was 3-0. It's a full count now.
He spoke to Terry Francona about the power arms. He says, yeah, they throw hard, but they're pretty good pitchers, too. And we just saw that with the strikeout of Napoli on a good slider from Bard.
Ibar slices it foul off to the left. Terry Francona wanted to get his closer into Game 2 just because it had been so long in between outings. He did that even in the losing cause. Got him some work in Game 2. He's getting limbered up for Game 3.
Papelbon got Torrey Hunter to line out and struck out Howie Kendrick.
Again the 3-2. And again Ibar fouls it off to the left.
Give you an idea what hitters are dealing with. Watch the ball out of Bard's hand. There it's white, and then it disappears halfway to home plate. Difficult as you're trying to focus and catch up to that 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and all of a sudden it strobes as it's coming towards home.
Ibar right side. Youkilis will play the hop, needs help. Bard covers for the out. 2 down. Visit TBS Hot Corner at MLB.com/TBS Hot Corner to sign up and watch live companion coverage of this game and every MLB postseason game. Well, 2 down here in the 7th inning, and it's back up top for Sean Figgins. He is 0 for 3 in the game. He's flied out, grounded out, and struck out. And gets his first look of the day of Daniel Bard. Did he go? Yes, says Dan Iasanya, third base umpire. And Figgins throws his hands in the air, disagreeing completely.
Yeah, Figgins didn't even anticipate the possibility of this being called a swing, and you can see why. He checked it easily and is really caught off guard when Iasanya at third called it a swing.
It's 0-2. Scioscia still displeased with the first strike call. Figgins has been quiet, 0 for 11 in the series. Waiting on an 0-2 from Daniel Bard. Down the left field line, it'll make its way foul, and that's a 100-mile-an-hour pitch from Daniel Bard. Strikeout, a ground out. Now an 0-2 pitch to Sean Figgins. Breaking ball and misses away. And it's 1-2 now to Figgins.
Just really tried to snap that one off and got away from him trying to throw it too hard. Oftentimes you get in these situations and you want your pitcher to think easier than harder. Then he'll have the proper mechanics and that ball will come out of his hand with his hand on top and get the desired break.
So Bobby Abreu waiting on deck. 2 outs, bases empty here in the 7th. On the outside corner for strike 3. Freezes Figgins. A 1-2-3 7th inning stretch. It's game 3 of the ALDS, and Boston leads it 5-2. us as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. And here's today's Travelers mid-game recap. Well, for the Red Sox, important to get off to a fast start, and they did that in the 3rd. A 2-run double for Dustin Pedroia reduced Alex Gonzalez and Jacoby Ellsbury. Boston would score 3 times in the 3rd. They would add 2 more in the 4th, and there's 2-run home run by J.D. Drew to straightaway center field. The Angels with their chances with the bases loaded and nobody out. And this double play turned by Boston, a run does score. It's 5-2, Boston on top. And Buck Martinez, as the Red Sox return home to where they had played so well during the regular season, they were certainly trying to get jump started after really being silenced in the first 2 games of the series. The Angels pitching, and they get to Scott Kazmir here for 5.
Yeah, and the big thing about it is the Red Sox have the 2nd best home record in all of baseball, and they were very comfortable coming into this ball game. But once again, it was Dustin Pedroia who got the big hit and really jump started the offense. Pedroia's hit over 500 against Scott Kazmir in his career. He had a lot of confidence that he could get this team going. And then, of course, the J.D. Drew home run, also a big part of the offense. But so far, it's all about Buck Holtz in the bullpen. And Daniel Bard came in and got a huge double play with the bases loaded and nobody out. And all they surrendered after the bases were loaded was a single run. And that really was an important time, as that was right in the middle of the order for the Angels. Scott Kazmir threw 90 pitches. 3 walks really didn't help him. But he didn't have real good command of his breaking ball today. Left a few pitches up in his zone, but it was a fastball to Pedroia that got everything going for the Red Sox here this afternoon.
So the new pitcher is Jason Bolger out of the Angels pen. 64 appearances during the regular season, with 6-1 out of the pen, but just holding opponents to a .207 batting average. He's 30 years of age.
Bolger had a little problem with his shoulder right at the end of the season, and actually got a cortisone shot in his shoulder the last Sunday of the regular season, where there was some uncertainty as to whether or not he would be ready to make this postseason roster. And after a couple of side sessions, they gave him the go-ahead, and here he's making his first appearance.
He was up 3 times before coming into this game, and here he is delivering ball 1 to Alex Gonzalez, batting out of the 9 spot. Gonzalez walked in the 3rd. He popped out to second base in the 4th. Now, since May 1st, Bolger with a 2.48 earned run average. That's 5th best earned run average among American League relievers during that time span. He breaks off the breaking ball in there for a strike. It kind of buckled Alex Gonzalez, and it's 1-2.
A real strength of the Angels back in their World Series year 2002 was the depth of their bullpen. This year it's quite a bit different story. They've got good depth in their rotation, but they've had some inconsistent work out of their bullpen. But Bolger and Jepson have been a pretty good bridge to their closer, Brian Fuentes.
Sean Figgins to his left in time to get Gonzalez at first for the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning. And Buck, yeah, that is a pretty big difference as far as the end of the game for the Angels. K-Rod handling it so successfully for so long, and Brian Fuentes this year, 7 blown saves has been talked about. He leads the majors in saves. And we talked to Mike Scioscia about starting Jepson to begin a lot of those 9th innings. They started doing that towards the end of the year. They did that in this series already, and who knows, may see it again.
Yeah, and it's just something that Jepson is so good when he goes out, closes out 1 inning, and then can bounce back with the starting off the next inning with the same stuff.
A strike to Jacoby Ellsbury, who's 1 for 3 today, a single and a run scored back in the 3rd inning. And on the grass at third base is Sean Figgins. Ellsbury chops it on 2 hops to first. Morales will take it himself, and there's 2 down. Let's check in with Mark Fine. Mark?
Yes, Dustin Pedroia comes up, obviously having a big game. The RBIs with the double and turning the double play. I asked Terry Francona what he thought of his season following up the MVP year. He said, you know, his numbers are down a little bit, but I think he's a better baseball player this year. Asked Dustin himself, he agreed. He said he's doing a lot of the little things better, like turning double plays, feeding his shortstop better, and moving runners over. Guys?
Well, no doubt he's the heart and soul of this team. You talked a little bit about it earlier. A guy who's an MVP last year and you know, least likely when you think about him when he started with the Red Sox his first year, could you ever imagine that the conversation would be about an American League MVP?
Interesting combination to win Rookie of the Year in his first year and followed up with an MVP award. But I asked Alex Gonzalez about the transition, getting used to Dustin Pedroia. He said, it took me about 3 minutes because Pedroia is so good.
And the two had worked together very briefly in 06. Pedroia with 11 home runs in 70 games after the All-Star break, compared to 4 home runs in the first 84 games, as he powered up in the second half of the season to get to the 15 home runs he had during the regular season.
Well, obviously, he doesn't consider himself a home run hitter. He's a line drive hitter, and occasionally those line drives go out of the ballpark.
One-two pitches up top for ball 2, 2-2.
We talked about Pedroia when he got to the clubhouse this morning early on, and he's always one of the first guys at the ballpark, but he walked in and made an announcement to no one in particular, hey, I'm not ready for the season to end yet. And he did his part by starting the free run rally with a 2-run double off the Green Monster. We had talked so much about how often this ball club has come back from 2-0 deficits. They did it in '99 in the division series against Cleveland, again in 2003 in the division series against Oakland, and then that dramatic comeback down 3-0 to the Yankees in the ALCS.
Inside ball 4 and a 2-out walk for Dustin Pedroia, on for the second time today. 4th walk given up by Angel pitching on the afternoon, and this comes with 2 down in the inning.
This is one of the most uncomfortable ballparks for visiting managers because things can turn around so quickly in this ballpark. You can have a big lead, as the Rays did last year in Game 5, with a chance to wrap up the ALCS, and they saw it evaporate. 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning got the Red Sox back in it. They eventually won 8-7. So you got to think that Mike Scioscia is looking at this game down by 3 runs here in the bottom of the 7th, and looking at the depth of that Red Sox bullpen, thinking, man, we're going to have our hands full tomorrow night.
Pedroia at first base with 2 down in the inning. Victor Martinez. Taking, and he takes ball 1.
Still a 3-run ball game. Obviously a lot of baseball to be played here.
More action for the Angels as Palmer is up, the right-hander. And behind Bolger, who starts this inning. He got 2 quick outs, but a walk of Pedroia and a 1-0 now to Victor Martinez is away, and it's 2-0.
Well, Napa is going to take a trip out to the mound and try to get Jason Bolger back into the strike zone here. We talk about the Angels and their ability to come back. They had 47 comeback wins this season. So they too, just like the Red Sox, believe that they can come back late in the ball game.
Angels outfield, Torrey Hunter in center field, a step or 2 towards right center. Or Victor Martinez to pull with 2 down, and Pedroia at first base. Martinez taking, and it's 3-0. Wildness for Bolger ever since getting the second out of this inning. Evan Youkilis waiting on deck with 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. Take it all the way and taking strike one. Kazmir working the first 6 innings today for the Angels, giving up the 5 runs the Red Sox have. Walked 3, struck out a batter, allowed 6 hits. On the outside corner, and it's a full count.
You got the breaking ball over, and now with 2 outs, Pedroia will be off on the pitch. Just looped this breaking ball in the outside corner again. Another high breaking ball, and Cooper has called that high breaking ball all afternoon.
Martinez with a swing and a miss. He strikes out as Bulger battles back to strike him out and ends the 7th inning. We played 7, 5-2 Boston. Boston pitcher after 2 very good innings for Daniel Bard. Billy Wagner checks in.
And Bard did a great job getting that double play with nobody out and the bases loaded. That run was charged to Clay Buchholz, and now Billy Wagner, who's already worked in this series. He came into game 2. Faced 2 batters, struck out Sean Figgins, and then gave up an opposite field base hit to Bobby Abreu. Then he gave way for Jonathan Papelbon.
14 months removed from Tommy John surgery. Red Sox used him only once in back-to-back outings, October 1st and 2nd, kind of a check and see right at the end of the year before the postseason, and Terry Francona knows he can do that moving forward. Abreu with a single back in the first inning, 1 for 3 on the day. And good numbers against Wagner in his career. Down the first base line and off the glove of Youkilis, who kicks it into foul ground, and the photographer's well. So as a result, Abreu will get second base. So 2 bases
for Youkilis as he was going to the foul line. See how far off the bag he is, and the ball kicks in, goes off his glove and right out of play. So I would think this would be a base hit for Youkilis. That's interesting. They scored a double, a ground rule double off the first baseman. You can concede the base hit, bad hop base hit, but then he knocked it out of play. I guess just the bad hop makes it a double.
So Abreu stands at second base. There's Torrey Hunter with a chance here. Hunter doubled in the 6th inning to start the inning. He went around. Greg Gibson, first base umpire, as they check, and like Sean Figgins an inning ago, Torrey Hunter not pleased with the result either.
Yeah, then he kind of expected if it was going to be called a strike, a home plate umpire would call it on a bunt attempt. Watch how he kind of offered at it, but then pulled it back. He's got it there and then pulls it back, clearly never making an attempt to bunt at it at all. And he is really caught off guard when it's called a strike.
Hunter takes ball 1, and it's 1-1.
Here's Greg Gibson down at first. Yes, you did. You bunted at it. Sure didn't look like it to me.
A strike, and it's 1-2. Three of the last 4 innings, the Angels have started the inning with a runner at second base. Only scored 1 time as Papelbon warms up for Boston. Inside, and it's 2-2 to Hunter.
Yeah, you go ahead and get Papelbon loose here in the 8th inning with nobody out. You have to win this game if you're the Red Sox.
Hunter strikes out looking. Wagner gets him for the first out of the 8th.
Well, no complaints on strike 3. Torrey Hunter looked at a fastball right down the middle. You just wonder how much of a challenge it is to pick up the ball right now. We've seen an awful lot of hitters fighting to pick up the baseball.
Vladimir Guerrero with 1 out in the inning, a swing and a miss at 96 on the fastball from Wagner. Abreu at second base. As you saw, the Angels just 1 for 10 in this category today. Runners in scoring position, something they were very adept at during the regular season, and Guerrero is quickly down 0-2.
We'd mentioned the Angels had 47 comeback wins in the regular season. Well, even though Mike Scioscia's team is down by 3, they still feel, especially this part of the order, they've got a chance to come back.
Oh, 0-2 pitch to Guerrero. Not close, not tantalizing enough, even for Vladimir Guerrero. 0 for 5 in his career against Billy Wagner. 1 out, 8th inning. Bobby Abreu at second base. Guerrero slaps it foul off to the right, and then it hangs at 1 and 2. Kendry Morales, who homered back in the 4th inning off the Boston starter Clay Buchholz, waits on deck. Inside, 2 and 2.
Guerrero's never had a hit against Billy Wagner. He's 0 for 5 against the Red Sox left-hander.
An infield hit for Guerrero in the 6th inning, a 1 for 3 day. Waiting on a 2-2 from Billy Wagner. Too tight, and it's 3 and 2. For Terry Francona, the strength during the season was the bullpen, and hoping for the same results in the postseason. So far, so good. 2 innings from Bard, no hits, no runs. Wagner, a double but a strikeout, as Guerrero fouls off another. Again, the 3-2 to Vlad Guerrero. Up and away, ball 4. He walks him.
That's the second time in this series a walk by Guerrero has made everybody go, wow. He got a leadoff walk in the 7th inning in that 1-1 ball game that turned into the winning run as he was lifted for the pinch runner. Now you leave him in the ball game as he represents the 4th run. Now they're trying to contemplate their options, talking with Ron Renicky, the bench coach. That's Mike Scioscia. First and second now for Morales, who's already homered in this game. Back in the 4th inning against Clay Buchholz, he gets a high fastball and hits it deep to right field, about 8 rows deep into the stands. Hit that one from the left side. He's only hit 4 home runs as a right-handed batter this year, but he's got a .296 average. That's why they've kept him hitting from the right side, left Billy Wagner in to face him. He's a much more dangerous hitter as a left-handed hitter.
Represents the tying run and a swing and a miss at the first offering at 96 from Wagner.
High fastball. He chased a bad pitch and he knows it.
Morales on the ground to second base. Pedroia knocks it down, stays with it, throws him out at first. The runners move along. As to third goes Abreu. Guerrero to second, but a big out, and there's 2 down.
Pure determination. Dustin Pedroia was not going to let that ball get past him. It ate him up, but look how he gets his body in front of it. Off to the glove side, he just turns his shoulder, knocks it down, and has plenty of time to get Morales. Just kind of smothered that ball with his body, get the out.
Terry Francona is looking for 4 outs from his closer, Jonathan Papelbon. Boston on top 5-2 in game 3. TBS MLB on deck at 6:30 p.m. gets it all started. The Yankees at Minnesota Game 3, and at Philadelphia Colorado Game 3 there as well at 10 p.m. start time inside MLB, somewhere in the neighborhood of 1:30 a.m. Right now, 2 outs in the 8th here at Fenway Park with Bobby Abreu at third base, Vladimir Guerrero at second base. The Red Sox Nation here hoping that Boston can hold on to this lead. Terry Francona goes to his closer, Jonathan Papelbon, looking for 4 outs as he takes over here with 2 outs in the 8th.
Papelbon worked in game 2. He pitched 2/3 of an inning, came on in the 8th inning and got Torrey Hunter to line to center, and then struck out Howie Kendrick, who'd come into the game as a pinch runner in the 7th inning of that game. Papelbon will face Juan Rivera here with 2 on and 2 outs. Rivera 0 for 8 against the big Boston right-hander, and this is how a manager kind of maps out the strategy in his mind. Socia doesn't have many options, and Rivera certainly has power to want in this situation, but Terry Francona, thinking about a possible 4-out save for Papelbon, targeted the Juan Rivera spot in the lineup, thinking Pap matches up great with Rivera. That's where we'll go to him.
Well, Rivera came up in a big spot in the 6th inning with the bases loaded, nobody out, and he grounded into a double play. He led the Angels with 19 grounded into double plays during the regular season, and grounded into a key one in this game. Abreu trying to root him on from third base. Vladimir Guerrero stands at second. 2 down, 8th inning. Rivera swings and lines it towards right center field, in for a base hit. Abreu from third base will score. Vladimir Guerrero will score, and it's a 1-run game. The Angels come up with a key 2-out single by Juan Rivera, and it's a 1-run game from Fenway Park.
Boy, a big hit for Rivera's first one against Papelbon, delivers 2 runs, and we got a 1-run ball game. Rivera coming through against the Boston closer. First pitch, fastball out over the plate, just takes it the other way and hits it into right field. The drive home, too. Remember, the Red Sox brought Papelbon with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Pinch runner at first base is Reggie Willett.
Nicer's Turris now bats 0 for 3 on the day, as he takes strike 1 from Papelbon. And the runs are charged to Billy Wagner. Reggie Willits at first base, pinch running for Juan Rivera. Another check, and he was leaning, but gets back barely.
Boy, quick throw and a good tag by Euclid, but not in time. Willits gets back. Gibson with a very good look, the first base.
Papelbon backing off. Comes in with 2 outs, runners at second and third. Gives up a 2-run single to Juan Rivera to make this a 1-run game. Tying run at first base, and Reggie Willits, who gains that good-sized lead again. As Turris fouls it off. 95 from Papelbon, who's ahead 0-2.
Reggie Willits at first base is 5 for 6 in steal attempts this year. It's almost worth taking a gamble that Turris now is in a hole 0-2. He's had an aggressive lead since he's come on.
Throw over, and they get him this time. Papelbon picks him off, almost did earlier, does this time. But 2 runs for the Angels brings them closer. It's 5-4 Boston.
Got a big lead, and Papelbon made 2 good pickoff throws. The second one here in time to get Reggie Willis and ends the inning. Willits represented a tying run at that point. Good tag by Kevin Euclid, and Greg Gibson brings up Willis. Papelbon made a quick, strong throw to first base to erase that base runner.
Kevin Euclid leads it off for Boston in the bottom of the 8th inning against the new Angels pitcher Kevin Jepsen into the game. Comes a third arm used today for Mike Scioscia. He got called up back on June 10th from Salt Lake. 3.60 earned run average in 49 games since. As Papelbon allows a couple of inherited runners to score, runs 3 and 4 for the Angels. It ends up picking off Willits to get the final out of the 8th. Euclid 0 for 3 on the day.
Jepsen worked in game 2, came in to get the final out of the 8th inning in relief of Darren Oliver. Dustin Pedroia on a comebacker, and then got Victor Martinez to start the 9th, and then gave up a double to Euclid and was lifted.
Euclid fouls it off to the right. He's throwing hard out there at 98, and the count is even at 2-2. And for the first time in this series, the Angels starter gets touched up a tad. Scott Kazmir in this game giving up 5 runs in his 6 innings. Jason Bolger 1 shutout inning, and now Kevin Jepsen. This bounces in and gets Mike Napoli.
Napoli going out to the mound more to give himself a break than to say anything to Jepsen, other than to get that breaking ball a little higher, would you?
December on TNT. See what it means to be men of a certain age. Don't miss Ray Romano in the new series premiere December 7th at 10, 9 Central, only on TNT. The 3-2 to Euclid. On the ground to shortstop. Bobbled for a moment by Ibar. Collects and throws and still gets Euclid. Nice play by Eric Ibar. Quick bobble, but recovers and gets Euclid at first base.
Now he's got a very strong arm. Here's the bobble going to his left. Ball pops out of his glove. He has enough time to recover, right himself, and then lean on a very strong arm to throw out Euclid. Ibar's got terrific physical skills, and after the bobble he stayed with it and reached back for a little extra on the strong throw.
1 out in the 8th. Jason Bay, the hitter, and the recipient of strike 1 from Kevin Jepsen. They walk back in the 2nd. Since then, 2 flyouts. It's 0-2.
The Red Sox haven't had a hit since J.D. Drew's 2-run home run with 1 out in the 4th.
All the Boston damage in the 3rd and 4th innings, scoring 3 times in the 3rd, twice in the 4th. Angels with a run in the 4th, a run in the 6th, and 2 big runs in the 8th. Evens up at 2-2 now to Bay.
That's a cut fastball at 90 miles an hour. It's a pitch he discovered halfway through the season and really turned his season around. Gave him another dimension with a hard pitch that darts late. Just off the plate that time, missed again. Boy, he has got good combination of four-seam fastball and a cut fastball. It really creates problems for hitters.
Strike 3 call. Bay knew it, and it's out number 2 of the 8th.
This good old country hardball with the four-seamer down in the zone, and not much Jason Bay could do with it. Got to be tough to see right now.
So 2 down in the 8th inning, and it brings up David Ortiz. silent in the series. 0 for 3 today. Looking ahead to the top half of the 9th inning, the bottom third of the Angels order is expected. Meister is Turris, Mike Napoli, Eric Ibar, 7, 8, and 9. First and 0-1 to Ortiz, who fouls it off to the left, and it's 0-2. Terry Francona looking to that guy for 4 outs. He's got one of them. Not close, and it's 1-2 to Ortiz. Ortiz into center field with a base hit. And the shift on, and he drives it back up the middle. A 2-out single in his first hit of the series.
And he hit a bullet right back over the mound into center field. Not much you could do, even if you are shifted here. Jepson swipes at it. It's past Ivor before he can move over to it. Cut it off. This is a fastball out over the plate, and he drilled it.
The pinch runner at first base for David Ortiz as Joey Gathright checks into the game for Boston. So the day done for Ortiz. And Gathright added to the roster for his speed. With 2 outs, he stands at first base. Mike Lowell, 1 for 2 with a walk. As Gathright gets back on the bag. Lowell takes strike 1. Look back from Lowell to Eric Cooper as he is down 0-1. Cooper has been calling the high strike all day, but if you're looking for consistency, he has provided that. It's been there all day. Gathright back to the bag at first.
Gathright only had 1 steal attempt after he joined the Red Sox. He was successful there, but he's always been a good base runner and excellent at reading a pitcher's move. Trying to get some insurance as the Red Sox are up by a run here in the 8th.
There goes Gathright. They pitch out, guess right, and they can't get him. So Gathright was off. The Angels suspected as much, but unable to get him.
And Mike Scioscia called it right. Good jump at first base by Gathright. The pitch out was on, but the throw was to the shortstop side of the bag. Ibar tried to swipe it and tag Gathright. Couldn't come up with it. It was off to the shortstop side of second. Perfect pitch for a pitch out. You want that up about mast high, and that's where Napoli got it. You should make a very good throw.
So 2 down, Gathright in scoring position for Mike Lowell with a count of 1-1. And it's ball 2, 2-1. Boston trying to grab some insurance as they bat here in the 8th on top by 1. Strike 2 to Lowell, and it evens at 2-2. A stolen base for Gathright, the first steal of the series for the Red Sox. Lowell hits one inside the bag at first, down the line to right. Gathright coming around, and the Red Sox have that insurance run. They lead it 6-4. A big two-out RBI for Mike Lowell.
Well, we've made so much about the Angels stealing bases. It's the first stolen base for the Red Sox that gives them an insurance run here in the 8th. Mike Lowell taking that outside pitch, slaps it down the right field line. He'll be lifted for the pinch runner and delivers a key hit to give the Red Sox a 2-run lead.
Mike Scioscia will make the pitching change as the Red Sox have added a run and lead it 6-4. Well, with 2 outs here in the 8th inning, Boston gets a base hit from David Ortiz. They pinch run Joey Gathright, who quickly steals a base. The Angels had guessed right, pitching out, but unable to get Gathright, who ends up scoring on an RBI single for Mike Lowell. And Lowell is run for by Brian Anderson at first base. The Angels, for the 3rd time in this series, will go to Darren Oliver, who becomes the 4th pitcher of the day for the Angels.
Oliver worked in game 1 in relief of John Lackey. Retired all 5 batters he faced, and then came in relief in game 2 again in the same situation in the 8th inning with 1 out. Struck out the first batter he faced. Pinch hitter Jed Lowry gave up a base at the Ellsbury. Then he was taken out of the ball game. So this is his 3rd appearance, and boy, has he been consistent for the Angels.
Been brought on to deal with the left-handed hitting J.D. Drew, who hit a 2-run home run back in the 4th inning for Boston. And David Ortiz, who had been quiet in the series, gets a big base hit with 2 outs to get it all started for Boston in the 8th and provide some breathing room for Jonathan Papelbon in the 9th. Drew couldn't hold up and is quickly down 0-2. Brian Anderson now running in first for Boston with 2 outs here in the 8th. Just off the outside edge, and it's 1-2.
Pretty good fastball, just missed the outside corner. Oliver has really shown great command of his fastball and used his breaking ball very effectively. His fastball away just misses the outside corner.
Drew hits it to left. Reggie Willits is there, and he makes the catch that ends the inning. The Red Sox get a run, and as we head to the 9th, it's Boston on top 6-4. And Boston, with a big run in the bottom of the 8th inning, leads it 6-4. The Red Sox closer Jonathan Papelbon came into the game and was able to get the final out of the 8th, and was a pickoff at first base of Reggie Willits.
See, 4 of his 7 postseason saves have been 4 outs or more, and certainly no time for Terry Francona to wait for the 9th with the situation. He came in, called upon him with Revere at the plate and 2 on, and Revere delivered a 2-run base hit to right.
He's working in the bottom third of the order, although Gary Matthews Jr. has come out on deck. This is Meiser is Turris. He shows bunt, pulls back, takes ball 1 away. Youkilis now moves to third from first, with Lowell being pinch run for, and Casey Kochman, the former Angel, is in at first base defensively. The strike to his Turris.
And Kochman's an exceptional defensive first baseman, and Youkilis, of course, seamless in his transition first to third.
As Turris lifts it foul down the left field line out of play, and he's down 1-2.
Papelbon throws a fastball, a slider, and an occasional split, but he relies so much on his fastball command. He can really carve up the strike zone in all 4 quadrants of the strike zone, and that's basically his bread and butter. He'll utilize his fastball and really lean heavily on his location.
A 1-2 pitch to Meiser is Turris. Popped up, foul ground. Back comes Victor Martinez. He's got a play, and he makes it right in front of the wall, and had to battle a fan to grab it, but he gets it done.
It's amazing how fans forget their players making plays. Martinez comes back. Not an awful lot of room here for pop-ups, but watch the fan leaning over and getting in the catcher's way. And you got to believe he's a Red Sox fan, because he patted him on the back after he caught it.
An obstacle at first, appreciative in the end. 1 out in the 9th. The pinch hitter is Gary Matthews Jr. Off the bench to pinch hit for Mike Napoli. He was on base twice today, hit by a pitch, a double, and a strikeout. Matthews now, Ibar next. 1 out in the 9th for the Angels. And a strike at 95 from Papelbon. Buchholz providing 5+ innings today for Boston, giving up 2 runs. The bullpen, Bard, 2 shutout innings. Billy Wagner giving up 2 runs in 2/3. And Papelbon trying to finish it off as he misses. And it's 2-1 to Matthews.
Just missed off the plate with a good fastball. And obviously Terry Francona, this is all about Jonathan Papelbon now, looking for a 4-out save.
On the corner, and it's 2-2. Gary Matthews Jr. does not agree.
That's what Papelbon does. He just missed inside with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball and paints the outside corner. Or not.
Or somewhere near it.
In the vicinity.
Matthews lifts it in the air to shallow center. Jacoby Ellsbury making his way in and taking care of out number 2 of the 9th.
Now, Jonathan Papelbon came on and gave up a base hit, And then the pinch runner came on for Juan Rivera. Reggie Willis, 0-2 count on the batter. He's picked off to end the 8th. Huge pickoff by Papelbon at that point. Willis was thinking about stealing, and Papelbon made a great move to end the inning.
2 down in the 9th. Eric Ibar, the batter, out of that number 9 spot for the Angels. 0 for 3. As he takes strike 1. Showed bunt, grabbed the attention of Euclid at third, Kochman from first. Tried to hold up, but did he? No. Dan Isanya says it's strike 2.
Just couldn't check his swing in time, and everybody asking for the appeal in the Red Sox dugout.
2 outs, 2 strikes to Ibar. Line into center field, a base hit. A 2-out single for Eric Ibar, and the Angels will bring the tying run to the plate. Credit Ibar, he gets down 0-2 and comes up with a big base hit for the Angels.
Just stays on this fastball away, kept his head down and drives it past the infielders into center. There's still hope in that Angel dugout. 2-out base hit right over the back of Jonathan Papelbon.
Ibar at first base with 2 down in the 9th. Back up top for Sean Figgins. 0 for 4 today. He's flied out, grounded out, struck out twice. Not had any success in the past with Papelbon. Ibar takes off for second as it's ball 1. He'll take second.
His run doesn't mean a thing. Obviously, they want to keep their defense in position with 2 outs.
Second on the defensive indifference. 1-0 to Figgins. Away, and it's 2-0. The Red Sox got their insurance run with 2 outs in the 8th. Angels trying to make some noise with 2 outs in the 9th. Ball 3, and it's 3-0.
Well, that sure is a big insurance run now. Bobby Abreu would love an opportunity to come to the plate here against Papelbon. Joey Gathright came on as a pinch runner for David Ortiz, stole second and scored on Mike Lowell's base hit.
Figgins taken all the way, and he takes strike 1. 3-1. Papelbon able to get his Turris. Ray Matthews Jr., but a 2-out single for Ibar. Defensive indifference. He's at second. Figgins takes strike 2, and it's a full count. This Fenway crowd will stand as one with 2 outs in the 9th. Figgins slaps it foul off to the left, and will do it again.
It's protecting that strike zone. Looked like a good fastball on the outside corner. He gets a piece of it. He'd taken a couple of strikes to get to this point. Late movement and takes it to the corner. He's able to spoil a good pitch from Papelbon. A very anxious Clayton Buchholz in the dugout.
Can't bear to watch.
Yeah, he's in line for his first postseason win and his first postseason start.
2 outs, 9th inning. Ibar at second, a 3-2 to Sean Figgins. Up top for ball 4, and he walks him. So Figgins reaches, and the tying run is now at first base for the Angels.
John Farrell, a pitching coach, will join the conference on the mound. Just an opportunity to help Jonathan Papelbon regroup a little bit. Everybody in on the infield. Pedroia talking about the defense here. Good speed on the bases. Two of the best base runners, Ibar and Sean Figgins. Figgins represents the tied run at first base with 2 outs. When you have a veteran hitter like Bobby Abreu, who has not fared well against Papelbon, you just want to go out and make sure you clear Papelbon's mind. Give him the game plan you want him to use to attack Abreu and take all the responsibility of pitch selection out of his hands. So Farrell comes to the mound just to reinforce the approach for Bobby Abreu. So now Papelbon only has to worry about execution.
Right, Fuentes up in the pen in case. Papelbon has had to throw 22 pitches since coming in the 8th. 2 outs, Abreu with the Angels trailing by 2. Takes ball 1. Ibar at second, Figgins at first. A 1-0 to Abreu. Fouled off, and it evens up at 1-1.
Abreu has preached patience to this team all year long. Sean Figgins got the walk. It's the first time Figgins has been on base in the series. But that sets the potential for an Angels comeback here in the 9th. Remember, they had 47 comeback wins during the regular season.
Swinging a foul back, and it's 1-2. Again, the Angels are down to their last strike. Jonathan Papelbon was tied for 4th at the end of the year with 38 saves. Trying to get his first of the postseason. Ibar at second base, Figgins at first, 2 down.
Interesting. Ibar was jockeying for a big lead, and Gonzalez had stepped in behind him. I mean, there is a possibility of a steal here with 2 strikes, 2 outs, and if you steal it, you get the tying run. There's Gonzalez right behind Papelbon, and Abreu finally calls for timeout. 2 great base runners here on the bases. There are 2 strikes on the hitter and 2 outs.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Bobby Abreu. Abreu fouls it off to the left. 97 on the fastball for Papelbon. And it hangs at 1-2.
That's the beauty of baseball. Your best against our best. Papelbon on the mound. Ray has been terrific in run producing situations. Gets that fastball and barely gets a piece of it.
The 2 quick outs. Ibar with a 2-out base hit to center. He walks Figgins. 27 postseason innings for Papelbon. Has not been charged with a run. Trying to keep that intact here with 2 down in the 9th. The 1-2 to Abreu. Abreu to left field. Jason Bay going back. It's going to be over his head and off the wall. From second base scores Ibar. Stopping at third base is going to be Figgins. 1 run is in, and it's a 1-run game.
Boy, what a mistake by Jason Bay. He just airmailed it back to the infield with no target whatsoever. And it was just headed toward home plate. There was no cutoff man in line at all. He needed to get it back to the infield quickly because Figgins has great speed. A up and away fastball. Abreu takes it. He knows it's going to be off the monster for sure off the bat. But watch the throw. He just throws it in, no target whatsoever, bounces it on the infield. Youkilis has to flag it down and then turns quickly to stop Figgins at third. Ibar's going to score easily. Figgins from first base has great speed. He is thinking about running right here, and then the throw just comes in to no target. Youkilis alertly cuts it off to keep Figgins from scoring. Jason Bay didn't have any target in mind whatsoever, just turned and fired it to no one. Youkilis comes over to cut it off.
Well, first base open, they will intentionally walk Torrey Hunter. And that run for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 8th inning, standing tall right now. With Boston on top 6-5. Hunter, after he is intentionally walked, there'll be a bases loaded 2-out situation for Guerrero, who waits on deck. But a big double for Bobby Abreu off the wall in left field. And it's 6-5 Boston.
Coming into this game, Vladdy Guerrero has 1 RBI in 19 postseason games. Now he's got a chance to really deliver a huge base hit. A base hit that would put the Angels on top more than likely, with Abreu at second base and 2 outs. Figgins is at third. That'll load the bases, and here's Guerrero.
2 for 12 in his career against Papelbon. Has a hit in this game, an infield hit back in the 6th inning, 1 for 3. Standing and cheering moments ago was Red Sox Nation. Much more reserved at the moment. They're loaded for the Angels with 2 outs. Guerrero swings and lines it into center field. It's in for a hit. From third base comes Figgins to tie the score. Here comes Abreu, and the Angels will take the lead. With 2 outs in the 9th inning, they have scored 3 times to take the lead.
Vladdy Guerrero delivers against Jonathan Papelbon. A bullet to center field with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Low fastball hits it on the line to Jacoby Ellsbury. Figgins from third base scores. Right behind him is Bobby Abreu. The throw nowhere nearly in time to get Abreu, as they have tied it up here with 2 1/9.
The Angels with a 7-6 lead. Vladimir Guerrero with the big hit that scores 2. 1986. You go back to this history between these two teams.
Yeah, and Dave Henderson with that dramatic home run in the 9th inning, and then the 2007 Red Sox sweep the Angels. Last year, the Angels won a game here at Fenway Park, but still went down 3-1 in the division series. Jonathan Papelbon has been lifted in this game after being charged with 3 runs so far, as Vladdy Guerrero delivered a 2-run base hit to center to give the Angels the lead.
So it is first and second right now is Jonathan Papelbon, who had not given up a run in the postseason, gives up 3 here in the 9th. And the Angels try to add on to what is a 1-run advantage right now. Kendry Morales homered in the 4th as he takes ball 1 from Hideki Okajima.
Now Okajima made 68 appearances for the Red Sox this season. Perfect record at 6-0. He's not overpowering. He won't strike you out, but he's got all the weapons: a fastball, curveball, and a very good changeup.
In the air to left field, Jason Bay moving in. And Bay will put it away. But the Angels score 3 times in the 9th and take a 7-6 lead to the bottom of the 9th. Red Sox take strike 1. Last time the Red Sox were swept in a postseason series back in 05 against the White Sox. Lowry fouls it off and he's down 0-2. Pinch hitting for Alex Gonzalez to begin the bottom of the 9th. Boston picks up a big insurance run in the bottom of the 8th, takes a 2-run lead to the 9th. But the Angels score 3 times. One and 2 to Lowry.
48 saves for Fuentes during the regular season. And he's a guy that's not overpowering. Relies an awful lot on location of his fastball and a big sweeping breaking ball. Kevin Youkilis with encouragement to Jed Lowry to start things off here in the bottom of the ninth.
Lowry fouls it off, stays alive.
The Angels have out-hit the Red Sox again, 11-7 so far. And that has been the theme of this postseason. The Angels pitching shutting down a very potent Red Sox lineup.
Boston at one point in this game had a 4-run advantage on top, 5-1 at the end of 4 innings. Door is open in left center field. The home plate umpire Eric Cooper noticing, and Torrey Hunter is headed out there to close it up. One ball, 2 strikes to Jed Lowry. We'll see Jacoby Ellsbury next, and then Pedroia batting third in this inning. A 1-2 pitch to Jed Lowry. Lowry hits a fly ball to shallow center. Ibar's going out. Hunter coming in. It's Torrey Hunter who makes the catch for the first out of the ninth.
Well, that's a big out. First out in the bottom of the ninth inning. Torrey Hunter was playing deep and had plenty of time to run in under the high pop-up. Lowry reaching for that outside pitch, lifts it into center. Look at the range of Ibar. He was way out in center field, but Torrey Hunter called him off to make the catch.
Lowry is out number 1 of the ninth inning. Here is Jacoby Ellsbury, a single back in the third inning, a 1-for-4 day. And this lefty-lefty matchup. Take strike 1. Last time the Red Sox blew a 4-run lead in the postseason, they lost Game 2 in 05 against the White Sox. A 4-run lead today. Trail 7-6 in the ninth. It's a ball and a strike to Ellsbury.
All throughout this postseason, we had heard from the Angels that the history didn't mean a thing. And they believed they had everything lined up to come in here and compete against the Red Sox in this division series, and they are 2 outs away from sweeping the Boston Red Sox.
Even on a day when their starter was not dominant. First 2 games, both Lackey and Weaver certainly were. Kazmir today touched for 5 in 6 innings. As Ellsbury fouls it off, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. We heard right from the beginning, this is a different group of Angels. Different thought process led by that guy. And they're proving it in the postseason. A 1-2. Ellsbury pops it up. Back comes the catcher Mathis. Got a play and he makes it. 2 down. The Red Sox are down to 1 out. The Angels are 1 out away from wrapping up this series. Dustin Pedroia has been on base twice today. A double in the third, a walk in the 7th. Hoping for some 2-out magic here in the 9th. 1-for-4 against Fuentes. Strike 1 to Pedroia.
Again, Fuentes jumping out ahead of Pedroia with a good fastball.
A strike over the outside corner, and it's 0-2.
The Red Sox never expected to be down to their last strike here in Game 3.
Fuentes ready with the 0-2 pitch. Pedroia takes it high, and it's 1-2. Center fielder Hunter towards right center for Pedroia to go the other way. A 1-2 pitch. Pedroia hits a soft liner. Back goes Ibar. The Los Angeles Angels have swept the Boston Red Sox and are headed to the American League Championship Series.
Coming into this game today, the Angels just 2-7 in their postseason games here at Fenway Park. But they scored 2 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th to come back. They have been a comeback team all season long. And Vladdy Guerrero, with his first RBIs in this series, a 2-run single off Jonathan Papelbon in that 3-run 9th inning.